We scheduled. We going live. We live. We live. We live. You are live. You are live in the podcast studios with your favorite black guy with the tight eyes. Perfect Timing Podcast, everybody. Yeah! Perfect Timing Podcast. We back. We back. We back. We back Thursday. Hot Thursdays. You know, Thursdays is hot like fire. What's up, everybody? Come on in, man. Baby, come on. 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 Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. First in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt. Relax and talk sports. Relax and talk sports. You know what it is, man. When you use your car as a weapon, you get shot, Dibs. What you say, baby? Trump news, Trump news. Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. You know that's the lead-off story. Relax. Relax and talk sports. You know that's the lead-off story, man. Put a 1 in the chat. Was the ICE shooting justified? Let's get a banner up right now, man. Let's get a banner up. I'm going to create a banner right now. Was the ICE shooting justified? Was the ICE shooting justified? You know how they say when you when that dude, the food blogger, he say $25 for a pizza, justified. You know what I'm saying? Was the ICE shooting justified? You know what I'm saying? That's what we on right now. Double tap, hit the like button. Come on in. We're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to have a conversation about it right now. Was the ICE shooting justified? Double tap, hit the like button as you come on in, man. Come on in, man. One, relax and talk sports. One love. You're lucky just to have just one love. Now, we got new video too, man. I got new video because I got a couple video I want to show. Like, there was a brother, very intelligent brother on X, and he was saying, where did the car come from in the first place? And that's a video. So yesterday we had two videos, both angles. A lot of people haven't got both angles yet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all watching the #1 podcast in the land. Double tap at the like button. You are watching the #1 podcast in the land for geopolitical debate. Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, man. 2026, man. So you know what I'm saying? We talking about this ICE shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Isn't it a trick, though, how we already been on top of this issue, relax and talk sports? Yes, the other day, I broke it all down. You know, a lot of lazy intellectuals are saying, Nick Shirley took down Tim Walz. Does it look like Nick Shirley took down Tim Walz today? Absolutely not. Nick Shirley did not take down Tim Walz. Independent media, chat rooms like yours and mine took down Tim Walz. You could say maybe the Nick Shirley documentary was a coffin nail, but this had been brewing. What did we put out yesterday? That's you know, a lot of the salacious on all the other social media platforms is salacious. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people not putting out the facts that this was first discovered in June 2025. So you can't attribute it to a video that comes out in 2026, right? The fraud in Minnesota was first discovered in June 25. Now, when we did our research and we found out that the fraud first came about in June 25 with the Feed Our Future, $250 million in fraud. When Nick Shirley made his video, we already were at 56 people convicted, 75 indictments. I had already played Ilhan Omar. We had already exposed the fact that Ilhan Omar had worked with the Biden administration and Tim Walz to broaden welfare, expand welfare during the pandemic. Did you guys know that Ilhan Omar she has to take blame for this shooting, for the protests, for everything that we're dealing with right now, because she was the one who opened the doorway after 80% of Somalians are still on welfare after being here 10 years. So Somalians on welfare after being here 10 years, 80%, 50% of them don't speak English, and then the pandemic rolls around. Look, it's a perfect storm. It's Perfect Timing Podcast. Double tap, hit the like button. It was a perfect storm. They had already been on welfare. Minnesota Democrats what we find out now, Minnesota Democrats was complicit in the welfare, not because it's deeper than what you know about and what I taught you about enrollment-based funding and preferred seating. I said the other day is if you're on welfare for 10 years, that's another form of welfare fraud. Does anybody realize that? Anybody work for the state or work for you in Texas? How many years do you get on welfare? Anybody from Texas in the chat? Double tap, hit the like button. You're watching the #1 podcast for geopolitical and domestic political debate on YouTube. My name is Perfect. Tell me anybody, any red state, how long do you get on welfare? Any red state, how long do you get on welfare? This is extremely relevant to the conversation because it's relevant to the culture where something like this happened, because I want to show a video that hasn't been shown, because so far what everybody is focusing on, there's a viral video right now of another purple hair protester, and of course it's a white woman. The person who got shot was a white woman. This is so amazing. Like, I don't understand why white women are getting shot over Somalian domestic foreigners who don't even want to become citizens and who rob and steal from your kids during the pandemic. Why is that white woman blocking a federal agent? So everybody so far in the viral TikTok video, there's a white woman breaking it down saying, look, he didn't get hit. Well, there's another angle that she didn't show where the police officer got hit. Everybody knows. What was the guy's name in Mississippi? What was the guy's name? The young man who was triangulated by trucks. When those gentlemen were charged for the murder of that young man in Mississippi, they said they had to chase him down because he was going into houses. They used their trucks to triangulate him. Their charges were escalated. Do you know their charges were escalated? Do you know why their charges were escalated? Because the DA, not only because they were prosecuted on the state level and on the federal level. Did you guys know that? They were both prosecuted on the state level and the federal level. A lot of people thought it was a racial thing, but what the prosecutor said is the way they pursued and drove the trucks became weapons. Yes, they had guns in the trucks, right? But the way those men used those trucks to triangulate the victim, the reason they got such harsh sentences is because the prosecution proved to the jury beyond a shadow of a doubt that not only did they have a rifle, but the truck was a weapon, a murder weapon, right? That's why those sentences were so severe. Does anybody recall that? They used that same prosecution in the state and in the federal cases. And then they showed a map. They showed a map how the young man could not get away because they used the trucks as weapons. What happened yesterday is that young lady used the truck as a weapon. I don't know why she used the truck as a weapon. I don't know why, but it's not unfamiliar to me. I got a video with Stephen A. Smith. I got a couple videos like, what's the guy named Andrew Tatum or Tatum. I know a lot of us are not fans of him, but he used to be a police officer. And he said something that was very clear. He said, since I was born, if you try to drive away and you even come close to a police officer, they're going to shoot because the car is a weapon. And it's not just because, see, the Democrat liberals are trying to focus you on the one officer. It never was about the person who shot. Does anybody really understand? Is anybody related to a police officer? It's a very difficult job. It's not about the officer who actually pulled the trigger. If you understand the way they're trained, it's not even about him. It was 3 ages, and that's number 2. So number 1, there's a popular TikTok video of a young lady misinformed about the accident, and she's saying that the guy could have moved out the way. Yeah, if it was a regular person, but police officers don't move out the way. I'm sorry to say that. It's the same thing with Rachel Maddow and the Navy SEALs. Rachel Maddow thought the Navy SEALs should arrest drug dealers. And I had to explain to Rachel Maddow, my audience, chat, my audience is the best chat on YouTube, but my audience already knew Navy SEALs don't arrest drug dealers. Navy SEAls kill shit. Can everybody say that in the chat? Navy SEAls don't domestically arrest. Navy SEAls are highly trained killers. They go out on missions and operations, and Navy SEAls kill shit. They don't arrest. They stop people from getting to the Coast Guard. So when Rachel Maddow says the Navy SEALs should have arrested a boat, it's like she doesn't understand what the Navy SEALs are trained to do. We're not talking about an everyday person in a boat who was fishing and then they shot up a boat. That would be illegal. If it was a regular fisherman, if it was me and Lisa and Relax and Talk Sports, and we were fishing in the Southcom region and we saw some drug dealers and we said we're going to help America and blow them up, we would go to jail. But a Navy SEAL, even without Pete Hegseth's orders, the Navy SEALs still are sworn to protect the coast of America. The Navy SEAL is not going to arrest you. A police officer does not move out the way, right? A police officer, the badge, the uniform, the cultural understanding. When you see a police officer standing, they are trained, you never back down. You don't move, because the public needs to understand that police are steadfast and irremovable. When you see a police officer standing, he is not going to move. You have to move. He will take command of that situation and remind you the only person in this situation who can do what the fuck they want to do is me, the police officer. Everyone else is going to listen to me and do what I say, or someone is going to get hurt or arrested. That's just the reality. And they're trained like that to protect them and make sure that they can go home safely. They train like that to make sure. So the officer who actually pulled the trigger, it's less about him. And honestly, some people might say he deserves an accommodation. Some people might say he deserves, put a 1 in the chat. I'm asking a question right now. You see the banner. Do you believe the ICE shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it wasn't. The officer who came in third, there were three agents, 2 agents, and no one is extrapolating what really happened. What really happened? There was a truck that pulled up. 2 agents got out. There was another agent in front of her truck. Her truck is parallel to the street. No one is asking, why is her truck parallel, right? But 2 agents approached the truck to get the truck from blocking the road, right? And she does not listen. What you don't see in the video from the TikToker is she puts the car in reverse. We're gonna analyze it. She puts the car in reverse. We see reverse lights. Soon as she puts the car in reverse, that's when the other officer is gonna start the shooting, because she's escalating it, because she doesn't understand if that car doesn't go off, if that car doesn't go in park, that we are trained to consider that car a weapon, because officers have lost their lives being dragged under trucks and cars. This is not conjecture. This is not a joke. If that car, ma'am, immediately, if you don't cut that car off immediately, this is not even about male, female, black, or white. This is about training. Ma'am, if you don't cut that car off immediately, she could have stayed parallel and they could have removed her from the car. What you guys didn't see is the car never went off. The car is a danger to everybody, not just the police officers, but the public, and that's their job. This car being parallel in the street is a danger to oncoming traffic, to pedestrians. This is not being discussed by all the purple hair protesters and the libtards who are crying. The car presented a danger. It's not just the fact that she was prohibiting federal officers and doing their job. She was endangering the public. She was endangering citizens and pedestrians. So number one, the car got to be cut off, ma'am, because if she accidentally hit the gas, she would have drove directly onto the sidewalk. Does everybody realize what we were looking at, the mathematics behind what we were looking at? If driving over ICE is deadly, shout out to Dirty Money. Thank you for tuning in. But check it out, Dirty Money. She was parallel. So if she was scared, everyone was saying she's scared. Let's say she's scared, she hits the gas accidentally. What does she do? She will drive directly into someone's home. She may run over pedestrians who were all on the sidewalk. She wasn't facing toward oncoming traffic. She wasn't, do you guys understand what I'm saying? She presented a danger to not only the officers, but to everyone around. Patsy, the question is this: do you think the ICE shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat if you think the ICE shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the ICE shooting was not justified. That's how we starting off the show today. Thank you for everybody watching. It's an interactive show. It's an interactive live stream. Thank you, YouTube, for the vertical live format. We've been having a great time with it. Double tap. Salty in the building. Salty Colonel in the building. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting was not justified. So we have our first 2. So Marie, please feel free to explain to the chat. We got a couple 2s coming in. David, we got a couple 2s coming in. So please, I would love to hear from you. Why do you believe it was an unjustified shooting? I'm doing my best now to give you my opinion, this is my opinion, right? And in my opinion, you know, there were things that you haven't seen yet. So I don't know how many videos you've seen, but there's 3 videos that have come out so far. In the first video that we showed, the officer is seen being hit by the car. Everybody, the officer seen being hit by the car. Number one, I think that's ground for justification right there when the officer's being hit. But what I am starting off with, I'm starting off from the beginning, because a lot of people, in order to justify their point of view, they're starting off at the end of the video. I'm starting from the beginning, from the fact of the matter that this truck was parallel in the street and the car was running. We're starting from the beginning that the truck was parallel in the street. The car was running. If it accidentally went forward, it could have killed pedestrians and drove into a home. Let's start there. We have to start with the truth that the car was parallel and presented a danger to everyone around, not only the officers, but to the pedestrians. So once we start there, then we can get to the 2 agents. First, 2 agents get out of a Dodge Ram truck, approach the Nissan, and ask her to cut the car off. Why are they asking her to cut the car off? Why is this important? Can anybody in the chat tell me, ma'am, cut the car off? Can anybody tell me in the chat, why did they ask her first to cut the car off? Because if she cuts the car off, then there's no justification for the shooting. Do you guys understand? If she cuts the car off, the car no longer is a danger to the pedestrians, to the citizens, to the homeowners, to the general public, to the agents. Do you guys understand it? We see this a lot. We see a lot of traffic stops on social media. The first thing the officers, Mike Hart in the building, the first thing the officers always say is cut the car off. The car, before we arrest you, first thing is the training says cut the car off, because if the car accidentally goes into gear, it can kill not only her, but you. Do you guys understand that? Cut the car off, because if the car accidentally go into gear, it can kill not only her, but you. So the first 2 officers approach her, ma'am, cut the car off, please. Cut the car off, because if you don't cut the car off, then the car becomes a weapon. The car, I have to treat this traffic stop differently. Does everybody understand what happened? The car is running. The car is parallel. The car presents an imminent danger to pedestrians, to homeowners, to the federal agents. Ma'am, you have to cut the car off. You have to cut the car off, ma'am. You're going to hurt somebody. You're going to get hurt. Somebody on the sidewalk's going to get hurt. I'm going to get hurt. Ma'am, you got to kill the engine. You got to cut the car off. She refused to cut the car off, and then she put the car in reverse. What you don't see, when she puts the car in reverse, a third agent swings around, because now it's a dangerous situation. 2 officers asked her, explain to her, cut the car off, ma'am. Cut the car off. The car is, she's cussing, get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Cut the car off, ma'am. Please. She doesn't listen. She puts it in reverse at that point in time. You guys, let me explain something to you. Do you guys realize she was already that close to being shot when she refused to cut the car off? I've seen this happen before. When she refused to cut the car off, that is when she escalated it. I'm sorry to tell everyone this morning, when she refused to cut the car off, she escalated it. And then the officers are now forced to protect themselves, maybe try to protect her, but the main focus is to protect the citizens in the homes. When she refuses to cut the car off, the situation changes. It's no longer a traffic stop. Now I'm dealing with a person with a deadly weapon. The deadly weapon is the running vehicle. It changes. He tried to tell her, cut the car off. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting was not justified. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. And while you're doing that, double tap, hit the like button. I see a lot of 1s. I see a 2. James, feel free, brother. Please explain to me. I would love to hear your perspective on why it is you believe it wasn't justified. A couple more. Mr. Zach said 2 and Deer said 2. You guys, please share. Please share. So what I am saying to you is, when she refused to cut the car off, and this is not the first time this has happened in the traffic stop. I've seen this in real life. When she refused to cut the car off, she escalated this from a regular traffic stop to now the police officers. I get it. She was fleeing. I get it. But that's why I started with the foundation of the prosecution in Mississippi. A lot of you, do you guys recall the prosecution in Mississippi where the young man was murdered? But in the prosecution, the reason they got prosecuted and got so much time is because the DA said they used their trucks. They used their trucks to triangulate the young man, and so the trucks were considered weapons. They got escalated charges and more time. They had shotguns. They shot him dead, but they got more time because the DA said the truck became a weapon. The truck became a weapon. This is not new to this story. Prosecutors use this in prosecutions all the time. That young man in Mississippi was not only shot by a shotgun, but the trucks that what they were driving were considered a weapon in court and escalated charges and gave them more time. If she does not cut the car off, it becomes a deadly weapon. And if the police, it's 2 situations, everybody, I need you to listen. If the police are dealing with a traffic stop versus someone with a deadly weapon, right? It's going to go 2 different ways. If she cuts the car off, it's a traffic stop. Okay, James said it wasn't justified. They wasn't even after her or trying to stop her. So James, you got to be I don't know why I even listen. You gotta be coherent, brother. I mean, you don't even have an intelligent, coherent comment. You just saying gobbledygook. Are you under the age of 18? But I'm gonna let you stay. Normally I would block you for having such an ignorant comment, but that just is evidence. That's emblematic of the people who think it was a justified shooting. They can't even articulate the point, and then they can't even talk about some of the things we're bringing up today. I'm saying to you today that the car is a weapon. So the hope and prayer is that people learn from this, and they learn that it could have been a traffic stop. If all your dreams come true, if it's a traffic stop, if the car is cut off, then yeah, he's in the wrong, right? All your dreams come true if she cuts off the car, because if she cuts off the car, now it's a traffic stop. Now she can cuss me out. She can yell at me, do all the Karen activity she wants, and sit there in the car till we have to tow the car, break the window, pull her out of the car. But if she does not cut the engine off, if she does not take the car out of gear, this is training. This is not, I know you're upset this morning, but if she does not cut the engine off, if she does not cut the car out of gear, then ladies and gentlemen, the car now is a weapon, and it is no longer a traffic stop. And it goes from me listening to her curse, and it now goes into a situation where I have to protect me and my fellow officers. So soon as the third agent, 2 agents approached the truck, soon as the third agent saw her put the car in gear, he came around and he was going to stop the situation. You guys don't understand what happened. You guys really don't understand what happened. When she didn't cut the car off, that was probably her last thing. And then when she put the car in gear, that's why the third agent came around to protect those 2 agents from getting ran over. Do you guys understand? It was like a symphony. These are highly trained individuals. When she put the car in gear, those guys didn't know she put the car in gear. So he had their back and he swung around the front, blocked the vehicle. She should have stopped right there because police don't move out the way, but she didn't stop. She took the car out of reverse, put it in drive. These actions can be considered as escalating. Number one, you didn't cut the car off. Number two, you put it in reverse. Number three, you put the car in drive. Do you understand what I'm explaining this morning? All of that are escalating issues that telling the officer, I got to protect myself. She won't cut the car off. She put it in reverse. When she put it in gear, she could have got shot right there. Then she put it in drive. And she moved forward and hit the officer. Let's take a look. Let's go to the video. I got a couple videos. Let's take a look. We're gonna review it together. Everybody watching right now, I want to say a big thank you. I'm gonna ask a big favor right now. I'm gonna ask a huge favor to everybody watching right now. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody watching. I want to say God bless this young lady who lost her life. Republicans are not heartless. You know, Republicans don't burn down Teslas. I want to say, and we believe in God. I believe in God and country. I take it very seriously. So I ask a big favor right now. If you're being entertained, if you're enjoying the conversation and participating in the conversation, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button. If you're so inclined, I'll also ask you to go ahead and hit the subscribe, because we do this every day. We have these similar discussions, and I think you will enjoy it. If you enjoy the vertical format on YouTube, I think you will enjoy it. Right now, I'm looking to bring up video so we can go over this. We can go over this together. So let's go to the TikTok. Let's go to the TikTok, and then I'm gonna show you what she doesn't show. Let's go to the TikTok, because this TikTok is going viral. This young lady, but if you notice, a lot of the people who are watching today, what you notice is that she's not starting from the
was in danger,
right?
Or whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way.
She doesn't. If you notice, where does she start her video? You guys notice where she starts her video, right? She's starting her video almost at the shooting, right? She's not really looking at the video correctly, right? So let's take a look and listen to this version of events, right? This is her version of events. Let me get a good view right here. I don't want to block the liberal, let the liberal live. So let's take a look at her version of events, and then we'll go over. And first thing I want to point out is the agents are already at the door asking her to cut the car off. And that's huge to this.
I want to show you something. We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that his life was in danger, or what.
So she's pointing to the third guy. I don't know if you can see it, but she's not talking about the gentleman at the car. Everybody see that? She's not talking about the gentleman at the car. She's talking about the gentleman who's blocking the truck, right? And there's actually another gentleman behind this gentleman, because two guys approach.
Whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way. See, here you can see that instead of moving out of the way, he actually decides to draw his weapon and actually plant himself more firmly. In fact, he's leaning over the hood of the car right now on purpose. If you go frame by frame, you can see his feet are actually beside the vehicle at this point. And there is the first time he pulls the trigger, when again, both of his feet show that he has fully cleared the front of that vehicle. And then
actually what happened is he was hit. Actually what happened is the car pushed him out the way. The car pushed him out. He didn't jump out of the way. Did you guys notice that? He didn't jump out of the way. And let's look at that again.
We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that.
Also, what you don't see here is that she's already put the car in drive. She had put the car in reverse, because you don't see the reverse lights. I'm going to show a video where the car was in reverse and then put in drive. So look again.
His life was in danger or whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way.
So it's important to her narrative that the video starts here. This is not where it actually starts though, right? That's not even the initial individual who approaches the vehicle. It is so important that the video doesn't start here, right? The video doesn't start here. Let's go to this other video. I want to show you where the video starts, because if you listen to that explanation and you watch it from that vantage point, then you might be persuaded, right? But the video doesn't actually start there, right? Let me see where we got this. The video does not start there. I got it somewhere. Let me see. I got it somewhere. The video does not start there. That's the huge problem with this. And now they want to hide the video. But in my account, what's important is that what actually happened is that a Ram truck pulls up and two people get out of the truck, right? But you don't see the third guy. So this is a little bit of it, but that's not the whole thing. This is a little bit of it. So we'll show this until we can find, the video I'm looking for, but let's show this. So this is before she started her video. If you look at this, this is before she starts her video. Let's see if we can see the breakdown. All right. So this is before her video. In her video, you don't see both of these guys. And right now, you don't see the third guy. Is everybody tracking with us today, this morning? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's a justified shooting. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. Right now, this video is for some reason, in order for the Democrat narrative, the liberal narrative to live, they have to start, and this is not the beginning. I'm still looking for my other video, and they're trying to scrub the internet right now. This is not the beginning. I have a video of the car rolling up. And that's the video we're looking for. We have a video of the car rolling up, because people want to know what was going on, right? Well, we have a video of the car rolling up, but they trying to scrub the video. But let's look at this video. In her video, the third guy is here, but look at this. Two agents approach the car that's parallel. Remember I said the car is parallel. They're asking her, get out the car, stop the car. She's not doing any of that. Let's watch together. Two agents approach. Now, right there, this agent is in danger. Remember I said she put the car in reverse. Remember I said she put the car in reverse. That's when this escalates. That's when the third agent says, I have to stop this car before my subordinates get hurt. It's my job to protect my fellow officers. Let's watch it again. She puts the car in reverse. He could have got dragged under the car. Here, he's too close to the car. He shouldn't be this close before making sure the car was off. He could have gotten killed right here. The man have stopped the car. There's a pedestrian right here. Does everybody remember when I started, I said a pedestrian could have got hurt. Do you see the sidewalk? She is parallel. Mike, Relax and Talk Sports. Remember what I said, she's parallel. If she makes a mistake right now, she can kill that pedestrian on the street. Why isn't everybody being honest about what we see right now? That is a pedestrian. She is parallel in the street. If she accidentally hits the gas, she kills that person walking on the sidewalk. That's why it escalated. She hit reverse Right then, he could have got drug under the car. Has anybody ever seen someone accidentally get drug under a car? Accidentally, when a person reverses, let's watch it together. Get out the car. Reverse. Look how close his feet are. Look how close his feet are to the tires. He could have easily got dragged under that car. Easily dragged under that car. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What did you guys see that? So in the TikTok libtard purple hair protesters video, she said she started with the guy in front of the truck. Why didn't she start with the reverse? Why didn't she start with the reverse? Why didn't she start with the reverse, huh? Why didn't she start with the reverse? Now, I want you to see where she starts the video. Let's start from the beginning, what I have. Now, watch. I'm going to stop it where she starts her video. Then we're going to jump to her video. Get out the car. Get out the car. What's this officer in danger? There's a citizen in danger. There you go, right? See that? Did you see? She reversed and the guy comes up. Do you see the guy come? Reverse. This car now becomes a danger. Now, this is where the libtard starts her video. Do you guys remember? We just watched that video. This is where the liberals want the video to start. They want the situation to start here. After she won't stop the car, after she puts the car in reverse, and a third officer has to get involved to get her to stop before someone is hurt. Let's watch. Did you see that? Did you see that? He doesn't pull out the weapon until the car will spin, and because she's going forward to attack, the car becomes a weapon. The car will spin and go forward like she's going to attack. Reverse, reverse, reverse. He's telling her to stop. Third guy in front, and the car will spin. Look at this. Smoke, smoke from the tires. Why isn't anybody being honest? Why isn't anybody being honest? Smoke from the tires, brothers and sisters. She hit reverse, then she slapped it in the gas, slapped it in the drive, hits the gas. Smoke from the tire. Great video proof. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. Right? 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 No. Let's listen to them. Let's listen to this is the mayor.
After you told ICE to get the F out of the city, I've seen a lot of Republicans here in Washington criticizing those comments, saying that you're escalating tensions with that. Can you respond to them? And what do you say to them tonight, people who criticize those comments?
I'm so sorry if I offended their Disney princess ears, but here's the thing. If we're talking about what's inflammatory, on the one hand, you got someone who dropped an F-bomb, and on the other hand, you got someone who killed somebody else. F-bomb, killing somebody. I think the more inflammatory action is killing somebody. And so, once again, let's be real and just honest and straight up about what's happening here. This is not okay. The way they're coming into cities, not just Minneapolis, but around the country, is not okay. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you should understand the importance of constitutional law enforcement. You should understand the importance of not discriminating based on race and randomly pluck.
Let's break it down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break it down for this clown. Let's break it down for this clown. Ain't nobody discriminating, clown. We got 6 million deportations last year. We got 250,000 arrested. I said yesterday, how does ICE know where to go? Anybody in the chat, why is ICE in Minneapolis? Why is ICE in Minnesota? ICE is in Minneapolis. ICE is in Minnesota because of $9 billion fraud. There's nothing racial going on. Do you hear this clown? And now he doesn't want to be held accountable for not keeping his decorum, and he's a politician in the mayor. That's Mayor Jacob Frey trying to deflect from the fact that you did not protect your citizens from Somalian fraud, to the tune of $9 billion. Ain't nobody racial. Trump ain't racist. Why? I said yesterday, Chattahoochee Crunch in New Orleans, 5,000 deportees in 3 days. How does that happen? The ICE is not going around to Walmart. ICE is not going to Home Depot. ICE has a list of names. Just like when Kristi Noem went to Minneapolis yesterday and arrested a murder suspect from Ecuador. How did they find him? Well, they had his address because he committed a crime. And wouldn't you know, when they knocked on the door, is Eduardo here? Is Eduardo here? Eduardo, are you here? I played a video yesterday. The ICE pulled over a car and the guy was crying. He said, why you pull me over? He said, this car is registered to an immigrant who is no longer legally able to be in the country. Is it you? And the guy said, yes, it's me. This is my car. It's registered to me. The officer said, hey, I pulled you over because this car is registered to someone who is not a citizen. And as a matter of fact, they're in the country illegally. They've been given a deportation order. So I'm pulling the car over to see. I didn't think you would actually be driving the car. Sir, I promise you, I did not think you would actually be driving the car. And guess what? He's driving the car as an illegal alien, and the car is registered to him in the illegal name. That's how ICE is arresting 5,000 people in 1 week, because they have become so comfortable that they're stealing billions of dollars. They have become so comfortable that they're driving around on driver's licenses given to them by Democratic governors like Gavin Newsom. I'm gonna say that one more time. They are so comfortable because they're driving around on driver's licenses given to them by Democratic governors like Gavin Newsom. How many people understand that in California, you don't have to be a citizen to have a driver's license? Have you heard about the CDL debacle in California? Have you heard about the CDLs being given to non-citizens in California? He said racism. Is it racism when it was Somali preference at those daycares? I read to you the law that Biden created that actually created preference. Do you know preference? I bet you there's some white men in the chat who can tell you about racism and preference. See, the law that Biden, Kamala, and Tim Walz created provided something called preferred seating and enrollment-based funding. It gave preference to those daycare centers over parents. Trump just changed that on January 5th. Trump just gave preference back to parents, parent vouchers. But in the Biden system, hello, is this thing on? In the Biden system, he prefaced the 501(c)(3)s. The Somali daycares. The Somali daycares got the money before American citizens. You guys don't know how deep this fraud goes. He said Trump is being racist. ICE is there for being racist. He didn't bring up the fraud. Not just fraud in the daycare center, fraud from the free meals during COVID. Feed Our Future, $250 million. Daycare centers that got paid on an automatic basis based on students that they enrolled, but not on attendance. Trump just closed that loophole. I said daycare centers that got paid for the students that they enrolled. So they enrolled their cousin, they enrolled their mama. That, you know, the government, Tim Walz didn't even check how old the students was. There was no verification process. You know what Trump did? Because he's pushing voter ID. We're the only state that has mail-in voting. Trump is pushing voter ID. So in many, you know what they got to do now at child care nationwide? You got to provide a photo ID. You got to take attendance. From now on, if you want federal funding at a daycare, can we get some Go MAGA in the chat? From right now, if you want federal funding at a daycare, you're going to have to provide a photo and take attendance. And you know what else Biden did? Listen to this. Right now, Trump closed the loophole. You got to provide a photo that Eduardo goes to school here, that Yusef goes to school here, and you got to provide an attendance that he goes to school here. You know what else Trump did? Trump stopped them from getting paid in advance. How many people have cable? You know, how many people have a cable bill? You know, Comcast, cable, whatever you call it, Verizon, they bill you in advance. My cable bill is sky high. How many people have a sky high cable bill? You get paid, you get billed a month in advance. Well, the Minneapolis daycare centers, according to Biden, got paid on an annual residual in advance. It doesn't even sound right, does it? It doesn't even sound right, legal, or sane. This is democratic illogic. The Minnesota daycares got paid residually, automatically, and in advance without verification. Donald Trump closed all those loopholes January 5th. From now on, you only get paid after. You get paid at the end of the month. After the students have gone to school and you present me with data of how many days they were in class and how many days you fed them. I know a lot of you find this hard to believe. I know a lot of you haven't done the research. You listen to TikTok and people who hate Trump, because that's good enough to be famous on TikTok. It's good enough to hate Trump to be famous on TikTok, but they don't know facts and data. Biden was paying them in advance on the automatic, and this was required. It was a software system. Did anybody ask, how does the Leering Center get $1.9 million in 1 year? That's a lot of damn money for one daycare center. $2 million in 1 year. It was given to them. They signed up for this program. They signed up for this software, and Biden paid them automatically, residually, and in advance. Brothers and sisters, they probably got the $2 million before the year was even complete. Do you guys understand what I'm explaining to you? They probably got full funding before the year was even complete because they were paid in advance. How can you pay a daycare in advance? You don't know if kids get sick. Kids go on vacation. Listen to what I'm saying. This is if anybody ever went to school before. How can you pay a daycare? You can pay a lot of people in advance. You can pay a lot of people in advance. How do you pay a daycare in advance when kids get sick? That's just part of being a kid. Kids stay home. Kids go on vacation. How do you pay a daycare in advance? I just want to know. I just want to know. How do you pay a daycare? Well, Trump closed that loophole January 5th. It was a Biden era policy that came out. I read it. I read it yesterday. Let's go back to these videos though. I want to get to the video. I don't know why they're trying to scrub this video. I don't know why they're trying to scrub this video. Ugh. I am sweating up a dog in here. I don't know why they're trying to scrub this video. I don't know why. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Double tap, hit the like button. Let's get it, man. Thank you all so much for watching. Everybody watching, hit the like button. Everybody watching, and subscribe while you at it. We're having a discussion today about the ICE shooting. And the question today is, do you believe the ICE shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat. If you think the ICE shooting was not justified, put a 2 in the chat. Do you think the ICE shooting was justified? Put a 1 in the chat. If you think the ICE shooting was not justified, put a 2 in the chat. So let me see those ones. Let me see those ones. Let me see those twos. Y'all come through. Y'all come through. Y'all come through. Double tap, hit the like button. Okay, this is the other angle. This is the other angle that she doesn't show, because a lot of people in that video, in that liberals video, she's saying that he wasn't hit. So let's show the video. I see those ones. I see those ones. 6, 7. I like, that's the first 6, 7. That's the first 6. We going up in the chat, man. Hey, what's up with you? I'm gonna star you, Young Syria. 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? That means he's still learning and listening. Maybe he ain't made up his mind yet. If somebody put a 3, there's always a dummy. There's always a class clown. Let's give the class clown some attention. Let's give the class clown some attention. It's always a dummy. It's always a dummy. Let's give the class clown. There you go, class clown. You wanted some attention. There you go. All right, let's make the video big. All right. All right. So what we gonna watch? All right. So you saw one angle. I showed you one angle, and the libtards are saying the officer wasn't hit. So I want you to see. Let me get myself out the way. Let me see if I can get I had to deal with this yesterday. Let me see if I can get myself out the way. Okay, here we go. I got myself out the way. Full clip. Full. Everybody want their shine? You can get your shine, homie. You can get your shine, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's a big homie right here, man. You can get your shine, man. You can get your shine, man. You can get your shine, man. All right, so she said the officer wasn't hit. Pay close attention. I like that. Ash said 3 because they both were wrong. You know what? We're gonna talk about that. I think that's a very intelligent answer. Stephen A. Smith agrees with you. Stephen A. Smith basically said, per police training, the shooting was justified. Not only was the shooting justified, it was righteous because he was protecting the other 2 officers. But when you say they both were wrong, hey, bro, I got to give you your props on that because she was wrong. She should have cut the car off, right? And do we want her dead? We do not want her dead. But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, these are police officers. These aren't people. Police officers have ethics, a code, and a credo. And that's why she was shot, brothers and sisters. Not because to be mean, but when she put the car in reverse. I think you just got here. Ash, I think you just got here. You missed the other video. I'll play it again. You just got here. You didn't see her put the car in reverse. And that's what's wrong with a lot of the, when Mookie said propaganda, a lot of you have your opinions based on limited information. Let's look at this. I'm going to show you the video where she put the car in reverse. She could have got shot then because when she put the car in reverse, she was inches away from dragging the first 2 officers underneath her truck. The 3rd officer only entertained the truck when she escalated the issue. He only put out his gun when she then went from reverse to drive and smashed on the gas, making the car a weapon. Let's look at it. Let's look at him get hit right here. Oh, did you see him get hit? So the liberal is saying he doesn't get hit. The liberal is saying he doesn't get hit. But watch. Up here, he's at the front. Bam. Did you see him get hit? You can see it. He gets hit so hard. He's pushed back by the car. He's hit so hard. He's pushed back. He slides on the ice. He's hit so hard. He's pushed. Look, watch again. Look. Did you see him pushing on the car? Did you see it? Can we get a freeze frame? Of him pushing on the car? Let me see if I can catch it. Right there. You see his foot back? Did you see his foot go back? That's because the car is pushing him forward. The truck is pushing him forward. Are you seeing his foot go back? No, you don't fight the police. Just anybody with common sense. You don't fight the police. You cut the car off. Now look at his foot go back. Now let's watch him get pushed and hit. Bam, bam, bam. You cannot run from this. Push him back. He puts his hand on the car to protect himself. There's so much left out in that video. He puts his hand on the car to protect himself. Did you guys see him put his hand on the hood to protect himself? He's pushed back and then hit and moved out of the way. He's defending himself. Let's watch it again. And then we're going to watch her going. And now, remember, you guys, again, this is after she's already put the car in reverse and already almost killed 2 other officers. This is the 3rd officer. When we see this is after she's already put the car in reverse and almost killed 2 other officers. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it wasn't justified. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting was not justified. Who was this? Christy, Noam, Breaking Secretary Noam confirms the woman who attempted to run over an ICE agent has been stalking. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Let's get some info. Let's go, MAGA. Let's go, MAGA. Man, y'all watching the #1 podcast in the land, man. Perfect Time podcast with the blast, man. We're going to go to Kristi Noem press conference, and she got some new information about this person who was trying to hurt
carrying
ICE
out
agents.
lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather, I've spoken to the...
So I'm going to tee the video up. This is Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary, and she's going to give us new information on the person who was shot. Ice, ice, baby. Too cold, it's like ice, ice, baby. Just go back home. When we do the song, you got to do your Trump hands. When we do the song, you got to do your Trump hands. It's like this. It's like ice, ice, baby. Too cold, it's like ice, ice, baby. Just go back home. Ice, ice, baby. Too cold, it's like ice, ice, baby. Just go back home. You know? Let's go to Kristi. Let's go to Kristi Noem. You know, South Park gonna have South Park is gonna have a day. South Park is gonna have a day with this, man. You know, South Park love picking on her. So I know the South Park episode, they going in on the next South Park. So Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, got some new information. She was stalking. That's why I want to find that other video, because people are saying, why was she even in the street blocking the ICE agents?
The president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle and attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or...
She attempted to weaponize her vehicle and run a law enforcement agent over in an effort to kill an ICE agent
to cause bodily harm to agents. And
it's the first time you're hearing this breaking news. They've done reports. They've checked her social media. They've done research on this lady, and this was not an accident.
Act of domestic terrorism. The ICE...
This is the first time we're actually hearing why she was blocking. So now I want to listen to this again, because people don't even know what happened that day. So ICE agents were actually assisting citizens who have been stuck in the ICE. Now, this woman who had been, this makes perfect sense. This is how she knows where the ICE agents are. She's obsessed with Trump. There's a lot of these people obsessed with Trump. So she's been tracking and following ICE agents. You know what I heard earlier? She had a child at home. She should have been at home with her kid, but she's out in her car, not at work, not watching her son. She's out in her car, just hysterical, driving around looking for ICE agents to start shit. That's what she wanted to do with her day. She purposely got in her car to go find ICE agents to start shit. Let's listen again.
I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations.
Now remember what I said to you earlier about the gentleman in Mississippi. I said those trucks in Mississippi, those trucks became a weapon because they triangulate. I didn't hear this. I didn't watch this yet. This is just the power of God and MAGA coming through right now. I hadn't watched Kristi Noem explain what happened, but I just laid a foundation for the car being a weapon. So I went to Mississippi, because I know the liberals remember the gentleman who was murdered in Mississippi and how the people who murdered him triangulated him with his truck. Do you remember the prosecution? Those men were prosecuted on a state and federal level. They had extenuating charges because the prosecution said the truck was a weapon. And because they blocked him off and triangulated him, the truck became a weapon. Now listen to Kristi Noem say these individuals were in their car driving around, triangulating and blocking federal officers. That's enough, you guys. That's before she puts the car in reverse. That's before she puts the car in drive. Just the fact that they're driving around, triangulating and blocking federal agents is enough. That's enough. They were found guilty of murder for triangulating that young man in Mississippi, for blocking them with their trucks and triangulating them. They were found guilty of murder in Mississippi. Let's listen to it again, because a lot of you haven't heard this, and they don't start the video from the beginning. You haven't seen it. I found the video. I found the video. We're going to watch it after this. I found the video. Listen to this. This is what she was doing that day.
I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today.
The facts.
At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents
She was blocking the vehicle, and she had been stalking them throughout the day. She wasn't at work, and she wasn't watching her child. Do you guys hear this?
repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle
Correct.
and attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents.
Do y'all hear? That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the video. Let's go, because I've showed two videos, and I was looking for this video. They tried to hide it from us, y'all. Celebrating the chat, man. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting was not justified. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. I found the video of the full event from the beginning. No one has showed you this. Now, Kristi Noem just explained it verbally. Now we're going to see visual. Some people are verbal learners. Some people are visual learners. Now we're going to watch what Kristi Noem just explained visually. You heard it sonically. Now we're going to look at it visually. Kristi Noem explained this Nissan, this burgundy Nissan, is now parallel. I've been saying it this morning, and blocking the ICE agents. The ICE agents are here in the Tahoe. Does everybody see the white Tahoe? Does everybody see the white Tahoe and everybody see the burgundy Nissan? Are we all together? Family, double tap hit the like button. All of my family, are we all together? Double tap hit the like button, family. Do you see the white Tahoe? Do you see the burgundy Nissan? Do you see the ICE agents? Do you see the brake lights? This is all very, very important. Do you see the ICE agents? Do you see the brake lights, right? Let's get into it now. I need everybody to pay close attention. Let me put myself back up there. I'm trying to get the right layout for us. All right. So let's watch this all together now. This is what I wanted you guys to see. This is what she even have her hands out the window. Anybody understand she could have got shot for just having her hands out the window? She even has her hands out the window, you guys. You can't make this stuff up, what we're actually seeing here. She even got her hands out the window, right? She got her hands out the window. Y'all see it? Let's keep going. These are the two agents rolling up in the truck. The car, you see the reverse lights? All right, let's watch that again. As you see the reverse lights, this hasn't been shown anywhere. This is the real video from the beginning, how and why it all happened. You see the ICE agents roll up in the truck. She's blocking the highway. She's already breaking the law. She's going to jail. Two agents get out the truck. You haven't even seen the third agent yet. You haven't seen the third agent yet. You see the reverse lights. Let's start it from the beginning. Look at her. Here they come. They come up. Damn, you gotta get out the car. Damn, you gotta stop the car. No! Reverse lights. Y'all see that right there? The car is a weapon now. There is an ICE vehicle. She could have hit this vehicle. This is probably where the third ICE agent came from. She could have hit that white vehicle. There's ICE agents in the Tahoe. Anybody ever see this? She could have hit the Tahoe. There's a cop in the Tahoe. So listen, you haven't seen this whole video. She's blocking. This is what Kristi Noem just explained. She's blocking traffic. She's blocking traffic. An ICE agent goes around the Nissan. There's another ICE agent right here. They pull up in the truck. They pull up in the truck. Ma'am, get out the car. Ma'am, cut the car off. Ma'am, get out of the car. You see it? Did you hear it? Ma'am, get out of the car. Ma'am, get out of the car. Cut the car off. She could have been alive. She could have been alive. Ma'am, get out of the car. Cut the car off. Right now, does everyone see red brake lights? Does everybody? It's so important because we want to stand with the officers. We want to stand with Trump. We want to support our ICE agents. We want to support our country. We don't want to divide the country, so we have to be honest. Does everybody see the brake lights? No, we know for a fact she wasn't scared now. Kristi Noem just said that she was following them. She wasn't scared. She wasn't fearing for her life. She was adversarial. She was following them all day, and she purposely blocked the convoy. Now, does everybody see the brake lights? I want you to pay attention to when the lights become white. And she reverses the truck, and she almost kills the first officer. Reverse, 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 reverse. Everybody's in danger already. The car's in danger there. Reverse. Now she puts it in drive. Now she puts it in drive. There's a person over here that could have got hurt. They don't escalate until the car becomes a weapon. No one has shown the full video. This is the first time. This is the first time you've seen the full video. It's the first time you've seen the full video of ICE roll up, ask her politely, get out of the car, right? Ask her politely, get out of the car. She doesn't get out of the car. Ask her politely, get out of the car. She doesn't get out of the car. Then she puts it in reverse. He was in danger. She puts it in reverse. She puts it in reverse. Let's watch it again. This was the video we were looking for, Mike. Relax and Talk Sports, all of my subscribers. This was the video. This scene is important right here. How it starts. Does everybody see this scene right here? What we have is the Nissan We have an ICE vehicle in front of the Nissan and an ICE vehicle behind the Nissan. So there's an Ford Explorer. You're going to see that Ford Explorer drive around the Nissan. There's a Chevy Tahoe with an ICE agent in it. The Chevy Tahoe, that agent is out of the car. I believe the agent who shot her is the agent who's out of the car who was driving the Chevy Tahoe. They've been followed. This lady's been following them all day, harassing them. Let's watch from the beginning. Out of the car, out of the car, out of the car. You don't see this in the TikTok video. Out of the car, out of the car. Reverse lights. Everyone is in danger. The car's a weapon. She's escalating right now. She didn't listen to get out the car. She didn't cut the car off. She put the car in reverse. Now she puts the car in drive. Not only did she put the car in reverse, not only did she cut the car off, but then she puts the car in drive. Drives forward and hits the police officer. Drives forward and hits the police officer. Drives forward and hits the police officer.
Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
Drives forward and hits the police officer. Let's listen to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, I know he be watching my show. Stephen A. Smith be watching my show. Let's listen to Stephen A. Smith say the same shit I've been saying.
As it pertains to a law enforcement official, don't expect him to be prosecuted. He was completely justified.
Say it again, Stephen A. Smith.
From a humanitarian occasion.
Say it again, Stephen A. Smith.
And seeing what transpired, from a lawful perspective, as it pertains to a law enforcement official, don't expect him to be prosecuted. He was completely justified. From a humanitarian perspective, however, why did you have to do that? If you could move out the way, that means you could have shot the tires. That means you could have got her a few feet away after you shot the tires. And if you were unsuccessful in doing that, you could have got her down the road. You didn't have to do that. She wasn't driving down the road coming at you 90 miles an hour. She was parked in the middle of the street. And rather than get out the car, she wrongfully tried to drive off.
Man.
And wrongfully disregarded law enforcement official, which is exactly what ICE is.
Amen.
And as a result, lost her life because of it.
Who got the best podcast? Who got the best podcast? Who got the best podcast? You guys, double tap at the like button, double tap at the like button, double tap at the like button, man. You watching Perfect Timing Podcast. Yo, I don't mean to do it to you Democrats and libtards. I don't mean to do it to you Democrats. We ain't the only ones with common sense. Let's play another video of somebody with some common sense, man. Let's play another video. He has a question. Now, your son. Can't do that now. It's too late. Worried about the wrong shit. Everybody want to talk about whether or not the ICE agent should have shot the lady. I'm trying to figure out why she was there in the first place. You got a son. You got a family. You out here defending Pablo and Julio like they give a damn about you. Go home and protect your son. Can't do that now. It's too late. Worried about the wrong shit. And it's the problem. When you start dating people, you need to find out what their politics are. What side of the fence are they on? I'm starting to realize all the crazies is a bunch of liberals. They're the crazy ones. What woman of yours is going to be out on the front lines battling for fucking Carlos? Carlos is in here illegally. He need to go back to his country. Worry about the wrong shit. Got yourself killed. Good job. Good job. Everybody want to talk about whether or not the ICE... That sums it up from my perspective. What were you doing there? Why weren't you with your son? Why weren't you at work, right? What were you doing there? Why weren't you with your son? Why were you at work, right? That's what we want to know, you guys. That's what we want to know, you guys. So put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the shooting was justified. Put a 2 in the chat if you think the shooting wasn't justified. Let's go back. I said I would go back. Now that I gave you,
that he was afraid that his life was
a lot
in
of people
danger
don't watch
or
the
whatever.
video.
For someone who's going to no doubt claim that he
A lot of people don't watch the video for the whole time. But if you were watching from the beginning of the podcast, I want to say thank you for watching from the beginning. And we showed this video to start the podcast. Now, in this video, this is a viral video from TikTok. In this viral video from TikTok, they start the video at the end. Do you guys realize that? Remember when I first came on, I said, we're going to do a contrast. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, operator, super dude? Thank you for voting, and I would like to hear your commentary. Please share with us in the chat, why do you think the shooting was not justified? Everybody tuning in, put a 1 in the chat. We're having a conversation this morning on the Minnesota shooting. God rest the soul of the young lady who lost her life. God bless her soul. We're having a discussion on the Minnesota shooting. I don't believe there have been Kristi Noem just came out and said that it was a justified shooting, that she had been stalking ICE agents all day. But I just want to discuss it with the audience. I want to give you the opportunity to participate. Some people said 6, 7. Some people said 3 because they're both wrong. I hope Ash, you might have had to go, and I apologize. I couldn't, focus on everything you said. I got to run the podcast, but I hope you saw Stephen A. Smith, because when you made your comment that everybody was wrong, Stephen A. Smith basically echoed what you said. And basically what I was saying is that per the training, the officers did the right thing, but there is a moral aspect of it, which is why I played Stephen A. Smith's video. Now, listen to this. Let's listen to the TikTok liberal video. And again, I want to point out, I'm going to go back and forth, you guys. Because remember, we got both videos now. I found my video that I wanted to show. So now we got both videos. And what I wanted to show you guys is that she doesn't start the video from the beginning, right? She starts the video well past this point. This is the beginning of the video. Is everybody watching? Because this is a great way to do this. This is a great way to do this. This is the beginning of the action. Right? This is the beginning right here. There's a lot of new people in the chat. Double tap at the like button. Let me show you. I'm going to show you both videos right now so you can get a better understanding. Everybody new in the chat, don't worry. Don't worry. I don't want to change your mind. I'm not one of those guys. I want you to make up your own mind. So let me show you both videos, right? This is a video of what actually happened, but it's before most of the videos that you've seen. What Kristi Noem said is this person in this burgundy Nissan had been following federal ICE agents. They triangulated him and stopped them and impeded them, right? Now let's look at the video. Two agents get out the car, ask her to get out the car. She puts the car in reverse. She doesn't cut the car off. She puts the car in reverse. You still, right now, do you guys understand? We're 15 seconds into the video. We still haven't got to where the TikTok video starts. This is when people are saying propaganda and all that stuff in the chat. What did I was about to say? I'm dyslexic, so I misspell stuff. I saw somebody say misspell. I misspell all the time. When people say propaganda, the TikTok video still doesn't start yet. She's put the car in reverse. She almost runs over this officer when putting the car in reverse. We still don't see the third officer, and that's where the TikTok video starts. Let's see. Reverse, 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 reverse. Now that officer is in the video. So this is where this video starts. Let me go back to the where we at. Here we go. Now this is where her video starts. When we look, this is the beginning of her video. Video is 0 seconds. Her video starts where the actual incident has already been going on for over 20 seconds. Her video starts here, you guys. Look at where her video starts. They already got out the car. They asked her to get out. Her video doesn't show her reversing almost hitting an officer. Her video doesn't show her putting the car in drive. Her video doesn't show the smoke coming from the tires. Look at the smoke. You see the smoke coming from the tires when she drives off? Let's go back to the libtard video. This is the libtard video. Let's watch the libtard video. She's starting after the truck pulls up, after the two agents. And again, in her video, she's narrowed down the video. She zoomed it in so you don't see all three ICE agents in all three vehicles. There are three vehicles involved. There are two ICE vehicles and there are three ICE agents. She zoomed those out.
I want to show you something. We can go frame by frame on this one. Keep an eye on this guy, the cold-blooded murderer, who's no doubt going to claim that he was afraid that his life was in danger or whatever. For someone who's going to no doubt claim that, he sure doesn't seem to be in any hurry to move out of the way. See, here you can see that instead of moving out of the way, he actually decides to draw his weapon and actually plant himself more firmly. In fact, he's leaning over the hood of the car right now on purpose. If you go frame by frame, you can see his feet are actually beside the vehicle at this point. And there is the first time he pulls the trigger, when again, both of his feet show that he has fully cleared the front of that vehicle. And then the next two shots happen here and then here, both of which where he's very clearly having to aim through the driver's side window and actually appears to be running after the vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very...
Yeah, he does run up to the vehicle to catch it because she could hurt somebody. He's a police officer. He's trying to stop her to the point where she might die. He is trained and has permission to use deadly force to stop this vehicle at this time.
Clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which she was very clearly not.
She's not a police officer. She can't signal ICE officers to pass by. That's why they told her to get out the car. You're under arrest. Who the hell is she to...
blocking nor obstructing, because moments earlier when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed.
Do you see that? Right there, she could have been shot. I'm going to play that again. Right there. This is an ICE vehicle, the Ford Explorer. When the Ford Explorer attempts to go around her, she moves up. She's an antagonist. Y'all remember high school protagonist, antagonist? She's an antagonist. Now watch this. Isn't it funny how the libtard bounces around instead of just showing the video in its entirety from the beginning to the end? Look at this angle. Watch her move forward and block a police officer.
Vehicle started pulling out.
You see that? Let's watch it again. You see that? Because that's enough to shoot her right there.
Her on that street, which she was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing, because moments earlier when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed in front of her. So
it kept pulling forward, kept pulling forward. Did you see that? As the Explorer keeps going, she's still pulling forward. She's trying to hit the Explorer. She was trying to hurt someone. I got to show that again. I don't even know what this woman in the video is talking about. Maybe these pink glasses is too heavy on her head.
Vehicle to catch up to it. This, by the way, after very clearly signaling to the ICE officers to pass by her on that street, which she was very clearly not blocking nor obstructing.
So is she blocking the roadway? Let's start up a new question. Put a 1 in the chat if you think she's blocking the roadway and blocking ICE agents. Put a 2 in the chat if you think she's legally parked. Put a 1 in the chat if you think she's blocking the highway and blocking the ICE agents. Put a 2 in the chat if you think, like this libtard, that she's legally parked.
Obstructing, because moments earlier when she first started to pull out, another vehicle started pulling out similarly and crossed in front of her. So she was telling the next one to go on ahead. Not posing a threat, not obstructing nor impeding.
Not posing a threat. Do y'all believe this shit?
Anything. Would you look at that?
That's all you got to do to be famous on TikTok, y'all. That's all you got to do to be famous on TikTok, y'all, is to lie, propagandize, zoom in, X out, all this type of shit. You can go viral on TikTok. Can you all believe that? So that is her account. Let's go Let's look at what really happened. Don't you thank God for Perfect Timing Podcast? Thank God for Perfect Timing Podcast right now. Let's look at what really happened. Because she didn't show this. She didn't show. She started from when these agents get to the car. Now let's show her put it in reverse. Huh? Now, let me do my famous TikTok. Okay, guys, here's a woman blocking the street. Here's two officers getting out of a truck. They are now asking her to cut the car off because the car can be considered a weapon and be dangerous and hit one of the officers. So first they're saying, cut the car off, get out of the car, get out of the car. When she doesn't cut the car off and get out of the car, they approach the vehicle, attempt to physically force her out of the car, and then she puts on the reverse lights. You guys see these white reverse lights? That's not in the TikTok video. She reverses the car, right? Almost brings this officer underneath the truck. This is an SUV. When she puts the car in reverse, this officer could have easily been dragged under the truck, which is why the third officer, this is 1, 2, 3 ICE agents. Can you say it's been 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. It's easy as ABC. 1, 2, 3. DEAD. That's what happened. 1, 2 officers, 3 officers. Reverse almost kills this officer. Then she slaps it in drive. Did y'all see the transmission kick? Does anybody know about cars? Does anybody know about cars? Then she slaps it in drive. She slaps it in drive, and you see the transmission kick. That she's trying to kill a police officer. She slaps it in drive from reverse and runs over the cop. Here it is from the beginning. Here comes the truck. We get out the truck. Hey, ma'am, get out the car. Stop the car. Don't move. You're under arrest. Reverse. Could have killed the officer. Nope. Slap it in drive. Hits the gas. Spills out. Smoky tires. Runs over the police officer. What's the question? What are we debating this morning? What's the question? What's the question? I just want to know. Where's the debate? Can anybody tell me what's the debate? Huh? And why are we here? Why are we here again? Huh? Why are we here again? Somali fraud. Why are we here again? Somali fraud. Why are we here again? Somali fraud.
Explain the fraud that was happening to get it under control. And it looks like Governor Walz, the Lieutenant Governor, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, not only did they know about it, they were trying to protect the fraud to continue.
Not only did they know
these
about
fraudsters were donating campaign cash to the governor and the Attorney General. The whistleblowers who were coming forward were threatened. Their jobs were threatened. Their careers were threatened. And then we find out that the fraudsters were buying property in Kenya and Turkey, sending money back to Somalia. The money going back to Somalia could potentially have fallen into the hands of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda affiliates in Somalia.
what?
Absolute crazy stuff. And the funny thing is, I don't even think it's just Minnesota. I think we just found out about it in Minnesota. I think it's happening in other states too. And it may not just be the Somalian community, but other parts of the country where these programs, American people are just being defrauded. Back in Washington, just left the oversight hearing on Minnesota. I mean, this thing is crazy. You have the governor and his team going after whistleblowers, state employees, trying to do the right thing in Minnesota to explain the fraud that was happening to get it under control. And it looks like Governor Walz, the Lieutenant Governor, the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, not only did they know about it, they were trying to protect the fraud to continue. These fraudsters were donating campaign cash to the governor and the Attorney General. The whistleblowers who were coming forward were threatened. Their jobs were threatened. Their careers were threatened. And then we find out that the fraudsters were buying property in Kenya and Turkey, sending money back to Somalia. The money going back to Somalia could potentially have fallen into the hands of Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda affiliates in Somalia. Absolute crazy stuff. And the funny thing is, I don't even think it's just Minnesota. I think we just found out about it in Minnesota. I think it's happening in other states too. And it may not just be the Somalian community, but other parts of the country where these programs, American people are just being defrauded. You know, I think the bigger thing is we got to, up here, you know, we got to put real teeth into these spending items. You know, if we're going to put money into a lot of these programs, there need to be hard audit requirements, eligibility requirements. Obviously, there's criminal charges if there's wire fraud, but I think if you have elected officials who know about this stuff and we find out they know, they need to be brought up on conspiracy charges because they're defrauding the American taxpayer too. One thing I know about this town, there's always a new day and a new crazy here in Washington. I think that's why people are more frustrated than anything else, because there's no common sense here. And when you try to bring it and put into these bills, you know, the Democrats don't want to hear it. The only time they ever want to talk about accountability is when it favors them politically, and that's really upsetting. Anyway, till next time.
Great video. Great video. Vote for that brother. Great video. Great video. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. Double tap. We moving into the next story. We moving into the next story. We going into more information of why we here. Somali fraud. We going into Somali fraud. We got some LA fire. Remember yesterday I was talking about Gavin Newsom and him not being able to run for president because of the LA fire debacle. But let's keep going with this Minnesota information of why we even in Minnesota right now. Double tap at the like button, everybody. House Republicans refer Waltz. Let me make sure how I look in the headphones, how I look right now in the headphones. Double tap at the like button, man. Double tap at the like button. How I'm looking in the headphones, man. How I'm looking in the headphones. There we go. There we go. Party people, party people. Party people. All right. All right. All right. How we looking in the headphones, man? Got the sunlight coming in, the sunlight shining in. We looking a little bright. Let me see if I can fix the lighting. Let me see if I can fix the light. It's not that, it's the haze. It's the haze from the sun. That's a little bit better. What y'all think? That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. All right. That's a little bit better. 35 degrees today, man. Freezing cold. They said it feels like 38, but it's still freezing. Let's go to this story. House Republicans refer Waltz and Ellison to DOJ over fraud allegations. Did y'all know this? This is turning up, man. This is why Waltz stepped out. House Republicans refer Waltz and Ellison to DOJ. Let's get it going. You know, I sent StreamYard an email about this. You know what I'm saying? They've been playing with a brother on the slusher. Let me see what I got for you. Let me see what I got. Is this for, I don't know. Who all like StreamYard? I ain't gonna talk shit about StreamYard. I should talk shit about StreamYard, but I ain't gonna talk shit about StreamYard right now. But it is it's worth getting the shit talked about it because it's full of shit. House Republicans, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Oh man, House Republicans. Can y'all see that? Okay, that look good. That look good. Double tap at the like button, everybody. Keep the algorithm going, man. Let's keep it rocking, man. Double tap at the like button, everybody. House Republicans refer Waltz and Ellison to DOJ over Minnesota fraud allegation. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, others referred Governor Tim Waltz and AG Keith Ellison to the DOJ, citing inaction on schemes like the $250 million Feeding Our Future scam and exploding House funds with 90% fraud risk. Witnesses claim Walt's office knew of issues since 2018. Y'all heard that, right? It wasn't Nick Shirley. Halted probes and targeted whistleblowers while Ellison opposed scrutiny of the nonprofit. VP J.D. Vance announced a new fraud task force prioritizing Minnesota as federal estimates suggest half of $18 billion in aid since 2018 may be tainted with a follow-up hearing plan. That's the first time you've heard numbers like this. This is the first time half of 18 billion, and then these numbers don't sound real until you listen to my podcast and I explain to you the policy. How many people are new here? How many people don't know about the term enrollment-based funding? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat right now. Enrollment-based. Put a preferred seating in the chat, because this is what the Trump administration said how the fraud took place. It said Biden era policies backed up a Brinks truck to these daycare centers. Enrollment-based funding and preferred seating. You guys need to know about this if you're going to be talking about this issue. All right, J.D. Vance, let's tee up the video. VP announces Trump administration will create a new assistant attorney general position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud, focusing primarily in Minnesota, then expanding nationwide. Let's take a listen.
If you're a young parent struggling to afford childcare in the United States of America, there are programs that we have to make it easier for your kids to get in daycare, for your kids to get in preschool. Those programs should go to American citizens, not be defrauded by Somali immigrants and others. Make it hard for you to get the access to the resources you need. But number two, making it easier for people who shouldn't even be in this country to fleece the United States and our taxpayers to begin with. We have actually activated a major interagency task force to make it possible to get to the heart of this fraud. We have Department of Agriculture resources that are focused on SNAP fraud so that people who need food benefits can get them, but illegal aliens and other fraudsters don't. We have over 1,500 subpoenas the Department of Justice has issued to get to the heart of the fraud ring. We've done almost 100 indictments, mostly Somali immigrants, but also a few others. And of course, we're looking in with broad investigatory authority to a number of the instances of wrongdoing that we've seen in Minneapolis. But we also want to expand this. We know that the fraud isn't just happening in Minneapolis. It's also happening in states like Ohio. It's happening in states like California.
Washington.
And so what we're doing in order to help coordinate this remarkable interagency effort from the Trump administration, but also to make sure that we prosecute the bad guys and do it as swiftly and efficiently as possible, is we are creating a new assistant attorney general position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud. Now, of course, that person's efforts will start and focus primarily in Minnesota, but it is going to be a nationwide effort because, unfortunately, the American people have been defrauded in a very nationwide way.
Have been defrauded in a very nationwide way. That was J.D. Vance. Shout out to J.D. Vance. We're looking at you for 2028, brother. You're looking good. Mark Rubio looking real good too, y'all. Mark Rubio looking real good too, y'all. Mark Rubio looking real good too, y'all. Who is this right here? Let's show this right here. I seen this brother talk before. We talking about Somalian fraud. Do you think Somalian fraud was to blame for the ICE shooting? Can we attribute Somalian fraud to the ICE shooting? We're gonna talk about it right now. The Somalian fraud. Let me show. I'm trying to show this video for the people. Y'all let me know, because this is the reason why the ICE agents were there. And it's kind of confusing that this white woman were blocking the ICE agents when those Somalians were taking food out of her kid's mouth because she wasn't at work.
Prosecuting fraudulent criminals, preventing scandals like this from ever happening.
Let me tee this up. Let me tee this up. This is Scott Bassett under Governor Tim Walz, billions of dollars intended for families in need, housing, for disabled seniors and services for children were diverted to benefit fraudsters. So this is Scott Bessent. I am here this week to signal the U.S. Treasury unwavering commitment to recovering the stolen money. I love it. I love it.
Under Governor Tim Walz, billions of dollars intended for families in need, housing for disabled seniors, and services for children were diverted to benefit fraudsters. I am here this week to signal the U.S. Treasury's unwavering commitment to recovering stolen funds, prosecuting fraudulent criminals, preventing scandals like this from ever happening again, and investigating similar schemes state by state. Under Governor Tim Walz, billions of dollars intended for families in need.
It had nothing to do with Nick Shirley. I love Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley, I love you, but I'm telling you to take down the Tim Walz. If we go to Nick Shirley, then we let lazy intellectuals like try to debunk him. No, it's not about Nick Shirley, man. It's about Biden. It's about Kamala. It's about Obama. Because how did Tim Walz even become the vice president? This is something I've educated my audience on, and I think you guys all should know. How did Tim Walz become the vice presidential nominee? Obama highlighted Tim Walz in 2023 for his new policies, tweeted him out. Obama highlighted him and tweeted him out in 2023. And then Kamala Harris again highlighted him and tweeted him out in 2024. Next thing you know, Tim Walz is the vice presidential candidate nominee. And Tim Walz, if Kamala would elected, he would have brought this Minnesotacation to the entire nation, because the Democrats were championing these programs, which makes sense why he was trying to protect the programs, because this program is what got him nominated. This program is what got him nominated. Come on, man. I mean, really. I mean, thank you. That's all I wanted was the damn picture. Man, sometimes it be a fight. Hey, y'all help me out in the chat, man. Y'all help me out in the chat, man. Y'all help me out in the chat, man. We visited Child Care Learning Center, a public funded care center in Columbus, Ohio. It's a small storefront in a strip mall. So here goes another, this is another social media person looking at another daycare center. And again, we're asking about the fraud. We're talking about the Somali fraud. Can we blame that for the shooting?
Location, I need to come pick him up for a doctor's appointment. Yes, here. LeBron. No, she. Oye. Unga. I'm being screamed at in some kind of Swahili. Here, come here. Filming there. Oh. Here we go. Here comes the fucking costume. My wife dropped my son off at this location. I need to come pick him up for a doctor's appointment. Yes, here. LeBron. No, she. Unless my wife's lying to me.
No. I'm not an officer. I'm an evidence. No, I'm a reporter.
They got my kid in there, LeBron. Something I'm not good with.
Maybe you can provide insight or information.
That's not your job. We have a license. Ask them. Go to the online and ask our license. This is not your job.
Unga.
No, it is my job to investigate the use of public funds.
Show me if you have permission. I'm not going to give you any.
I don't need permission. I'm a citizen of Ohio, and I'm a taxpayer, and I'm actually here as an investigative reporter simply to ask you if you receive government funding, if you've been visited, and what your impression is of the allegations.
They harass only the African people. You see what happened to the media? They harassing us. I'm gonna give my lawyer. Do what you're gonna do, guys.
I didn't see anyone harassing anybody. The guy seemed to be very polite, very calm. asking questions very calmly, very politely. I didn't think he was harassing anybody. What y'all think? Put a 1 in the chat if you think he was harassing. I didn't think he was harassing nobody. Very calmly asked her, you know what I'm saying? And then she does the Karen thing, you know, oh, he's harassing me, I'm scared and all that. I don't understand that version of deflection when someone is coming to find out. You know how easy it would be to say, hey, this is a daycare center. We got kids here. You can hear the kids. You can see the kids. You can't be here unless you want to bring your kid to this daycare center. This is Tim Burchett confirms our taxpayer funds went from Minnesota to Somalia and terror organization Shabazz. Remember, J.D. Vance said that earlier.
Dollars of fraud. A lot of people want Tim Walz put in jail. I doubt that's going to happen. Being incompetent was a crime. Most of Washington, D.C. being changed. So.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tim Walz should be charged with the Somali fraud. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tim Walz should be charged with the Somali fraud. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tim Walz should be charged with the 18 billion. Ain't that the last number I read? Some accounts 100 billion.
So, but what's happening is they're actually money's funding terrorists. It goes from the Somalis in Minnesota. They end up giving it to a group called Al-Shabaab, which is a terrorist organization, and their affiliates. In fact, they're the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest factions of Al-Qaeda. And they use the money, to, of course, to purchase weapons from the Houthis in Yemen, which is only about 250 miles away from them. And the Houthis get the weapons, and they get them from Iran, and that means the money, of course, was given to fraudulent groups in Minnesota, and eventually, of course, ends up in Iran. And it's just more of the same. You know, we want to defund the Taliban. We can't even get the Senate to do that. So it's an ongoing process. But you need to know that they're using American taxpayer. Hey, brother, appreciate you. American taxpayer dollars to fund terrorism, and that is exactly what's going on. And it's just the tip of the dadgum iceberg. You're going to see this stuff all over the country, and it's funding our enemies all over the world. As I've said many times, folks, they'll hate us for free. We need to support the president and all the efforts to do this. Hey, good to see you, girl. Anyway, hey, brother, how are you?
Quick sec for me?
Thank you all for sending me here. Sure, man.
How many people surprised? Where did you think billions of dollars was going? How many people surprised? Where did you think billions of dollars was going? How many people surprised? Did you see in Nick Shirley's documentary, they have all of these storefronts. So the storefronts are not only fake daycare centers. In the front of the fake daycare center, there's a storefront with all of these money transfer. You can buy these cards and send money to Somalia. And almost every liquor store and every smoke shop, every storefront in Minneapolis, they have this money laundering system set up, where you can go in and money Western Union or buy these cards and send money back. Why is it so many outlets? Why are there so many ways to send money when 80% of the people are on welfare? Am I making this up? Let's get into it. If 80% of Somalians in Minneapolis are on welfare, why do they have hundreds of locations to send money, cash money, back to Somalia if they don't have fucking money? Hello? 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 Am I being mean? Am I being mean? Am I the only one with common sense? I played to you the other day a White House Washington Senate meeting. He said, how many Somalians are on welfare after 10 years? 80% of Somalians are on welfare, and they've been here for 10 years. So if they're on welfare, that means they don't have a disposable income. Anybody know what disposable income means? If they are 80% of them on welfare, you don't need a shitload of ways to send money back home, non-existing money. The money doesn't exist. We're giving them welfare. You know, if you're on welfare, the state comes and checks your bank account. If you're on welfare, the state comes and checks where you live. Because if you're on welfare, you can't own your own house. You can't own a Mercedes. You can't have a bank account with $10,000 in it if you're on fucking welfare. right? Or they kick you off of welfare, or they're supposed to. They're supposed to kick you off of welfare because that's welfare fraud. Remember earlier I said 10 years on welfare is fraudulent because in the red state, you got 2 years max. In Texas, you got 2 years max on welfare and you got to pay it back. Oh, did you hear what I said? In Texas, you got 2 years max on welfare and you got to pay it back. So please tell me what's going on. Please tell me what's going on. Please tell me what's going on. What's going on? Tell me what's going on, huh? Democrats are panicked at President Trump confirms he is moving to ban large institutional investors from buying up single-family homes. Did you guys hear that? I was so excited when I heard this because Trump, you know, we talk about all the victories Trump has, right? Before I go to that, holy smokes, President Trump just cut the U.S. trade deficit in half, lowest it's nearly been in 2 decades. Y'all see how many victories? So I got so much Trump news, giving Democrats the boo blues, giving Democrats the boo blue. So y'all heard about BlackRock, y'all heard about rent going up, y'all heard about the Trump economy with tariffs, you heard about inflation coming in. They're all surprised. Economists keep being surprised.
In this number,
I think economists are going to keep being surprised. Just like people in my chat 6 months ago were saying tariffs were a tax. Tariffs are going to cause inflation. What did inflation come in under, MAGA? Inflation came in at 2.7. We added 64,000 jobs. Tariffs paid for $12 billion aid to farmers. Tariffs paid for 1776 going to our troops after a 43-day shutdown when they didn't receive payment. That's what tariffs are doing. Tariffs are going to pay down the deficit. And let's take a look at this. What about, remember when I played the Nancy Pelosi video about the trade deficit and the trade war and how other countries use tariffs to keep American companies like Cadillac, Harley Davidson, Chevy, Corvette out of their country because they don't want competition from a Chevy, from a GM, from a Cadillac, from a Harley Davidson. So Harley Davidson gets charged 200% tariffs. America is the only country that doesn't use tariffs properly. Let me tell you, let me give you evidence for everybody who hated on me and came in here and thought it was funny to say tariffs are a tax, tariffs are a tax, without any knowledge of the economics.
Go up. This is unreal. The movement in this number, minus 29.4 billion. We cut it basically in half. We cut it in half. Just consider this. In March, it was 136 billion. Right now, it's a whisker under 30 billion. We haven't been that small in a long time. I don't have enough records here to go back that far, but you're going back a ways. And here's the news on why it moved lower. I'll go up. This is unreal. The movement in this number, minus 29.4 billion. We cut it basically in half. We cut it in half. Just consider this. In March, it was.
Y'all see this? Holy smokes, President Trump just cut U.S. trade deficit in half. One more time. Holy smokes, President Trump just cut U.S. trade deficit in half. Lowest in nearly 2 decades. Why? Why? How is that realistic? You have to watch my show. You have to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because if you watch me, you can understand the numbers behind what he's saying right now, because you can go back to the Nancy Pelosi video that I played you from 1996. Where the tariffs in Japan were 2% and Japan was charging us 35%. Then you understand the trade deficit, the trade war. And when we start charging fair and equal tariffs, not exorbitant tariffs, not 200%, we're not charging what India charged us. We're not charging what China charged us. We're finally just charging. Come on, you guys. We're finally just using tariffs as they should be to protect American wages, protect American jobs, protect American employees. So we're not charging exorbitant tariffs. But we have cut the trade deficit in half. Mike, please explain it to me, Mike, so I don't have to block you. Mike, you got 30 seconds. Put Mike on the clock, everybody. Let me highlight him. Mike said, we don't understand. You don't understand. Like Mike said, you don't understand. What's the brother name? I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Bernie Mac, you don't understand. Okay, Mike, you on the clock, Mike. You on the clock, Mike. Let us know. Let us know, Mike, how brilliant you are, Mike. Huh? The tariffs are working. The tariffs are working. The tariffs are working. Huh? I just played the video. You don't understand what it here we go. Hey, Mike, you see it? Hey, Mike, hey, I'm going to kick him out, Mike. I'm going to kick him out, Mike. We ain't going to deal with this bullshit. I gave him 30 seconds to explain. I highlighted him. I gave him opportunity to explain his side. And what does he say? I don't understand. Who pays the tariff? All this stupid shit that Democrats, and this shit just started in this past, and when Biden was elected. This way that Democrats debate of asking a question because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Who pays the tariffs? You don't know what it is. And all this bullshit. I just asked for a fucking number, Mike. When men are having a conversation, all I want is a fucking number, blood. That's all I want is a fucking number. I need to know you're not a fucking troll, a fucking robot, a fucking idiot, a fucking number. All I do is give out numbers and data. I said, what did the rate 2.7? They estimated inflation would go up to 7%, maybe 8%. It actually came in at 2.7. I need one of you stupid motherfuckers who hate on Trump to know one data point. One fucking data point. One data point. I just want one data point. Just one data point. For me to respect you, you need to have at least one data point. When I am up here giving out information like, hey, they wanted inflation to come in at 7%. It actually came in at 2.7%. Hey, we added 64,000 jobs. Hey, we're cutting the trade deficit. Hey, Nancy Pelosi in 1996 used to be on Trump's side, and she used to advocate for raising tariffs because she understood the trade war and the trade deficit. In her speech, she said the China tariffs were 2% in 1996. Do you know that the China tariffs stayed 2% until Trump raised them? This is all I want to know. This is all I want to know, right? All I want you to do is to be able to speak in the same fashion that I can speak. Do you know the tariffs? What was the tariff before Trump raised it? What was the tariff before Trump raised it? Do you know? See, this is the thing about the Democrats. Let me play a video. I want to play something. Mike, Salty, Tammy, everybody. You know what's going on right now? Let me show you what's going on right now. Because there's no intelligence, and they don't have to be intelligent. Because that's not part of what the Democrats are asking people to do, right? There's no intelligence. What did I say? Put it in the chat. Lazy intellect. Put it in the chat. Lazy intellect. You could even put lack of intellect. Lazy intellectuals.
They cheer when things go wrong, when prices rise, when chaos fills the streets, just so they can say, see, you don't have to love Trump. You don't even have to like him. The issue isn't Trump anymore. It is that the left hates him more than they love America. They would rather watch the country fall apart than admit he ever did anything right. They cheer when things go wrong, when prices rise, when chaos fills the streets, just so they can say, see, we told you, Trump was bad. That's not patriotism. That is bitterness, and it is dangerous. Because evil isn't just doing wrong. Evil is hoping your own nation collapses just to prove a political point. America doesn't fall because of one man. It falls because too many people would rather see it fail than see their opponent succeed. You don't have to love Trump. But if you hate him more than you love this country, then maybe the problem isn't him.
You don't have to love Trump. Mike, you is a cold, cold cat. You can't even, she said something right. Mike didn't care. Mike trying to go. Mike, you was a cold killer, man. Mike is a cold, cold killer, boy. Serial killer. Mike, you a cold, cold killer, man. Will you, Mike, can we listen to her though? Can we accept what she has said? I don't disagree with you, but damn, she made a good point. Let's listen to it again. This is what Mike refers to. I'm not going to say the term because that's a derogatory term, Mike. That's a derogatory term, Mike. So I'm not going to repeat it. Although how true it may be, this young lady is explaining what we're dealing with in the chat most times. When we're having trolls in the chat and they're not intelligent and they don't come in and say, oh, actually inflation was 7%. Oh, actually the jobs numbers were this. Well, actually the inflation numbers were this. They don't never do that because they're not required to by their ideology, right? So I wanted to play this video to remind you what are we really seeing when we see these idiots in the chat who don't know the actual numbers, the data points. And you got to say to yourself, well, if you don't know what Perfect is saying, what are you basing your opinion on? Even if I disagree with Perfect, I'm just wondering, you came in the chat, you disagree with him, you don't know the actual data, you don't have the information to make an intelligent decision, but you've already made one. Can you at least tell us what you're basing your, instead they ask a question, do you know who pays the tariff? It's like you can never, it's like having a conversation with an angry woman. You're not going to get anywhere. She's not going to accept what you say. She's already emotional. You're not going to be successful. That's why most men just walk away. I cannot get this woman to think logically and understand the proper decision. I'm going to just walk away because she didn't let her emotions get into it. The Democratic Party is like an emotion. That's why we say Karen. That's why we say Karen, because that's how they act. They act like you're in an argument with an emotional woman and she's not going to listen. And all intelligent men know what to do. You walk away. You walk away. You can't make a woman who's upset and emotional have a logical conversation. I don't care how anybody takes it in the chat. I mean that in the most disrespectful way. I don't care how you take it in the chat. If you dumb enough to go back and forth with a woman when she's upset and emotional and you think you're going to come to a logical outcome, then you a damn idiot. You a damn idiot. And that's what we're dealing with when we have these conversations with these trolls. Let's play it one more time, because this is going to help so many people, because I see a lot of people a lot of times be like, damn, why did that dummy say that?
You don't have to love Trump. You don't even have to like him. The issue isn't Trump anymore. It is that the left hates him more than they love America.
Amen.
They would rather watch the country fall apart than admit he ever did anything right.
Come on.
They cheer when things go wrong, when prices rise, when chaos fills the streets, just so they can say, see, we told you Trump was bad.
Yes.
That's not patriotism. That is bitterness, and it is dangerous. Because evil isn't just doing wrong. Evil is hoping your own nation collapses just to prove a political point. America doesn't fall because of one man. It falls because too many people would rather see it fail than see their opponent succeed. You don't have to love Trump. But if you hate him more than you love this country, then maybe the problem isn't him.
If you hate him more than you love this country, then maybe the problem isn't him. Can we get a hand clap? Can we get it? If you hate him more than you love this country, then maybe the problem isn't Trump. Maybe the problem isn't Trump. Trump has been in office 12 months. You know when I say lazy intellect and lazy intellectuals, some of the things that they want to blame Trump for, I don't think they understand mathematically he can't be responsible for in 12 months. Like the Affordable Care Act expiring, Trump didn't make it expire. Biden made the subsidies temporary. You understand what I'm saying? You're trying to blame him for things. He's only been president for 12 months. We're dealing with a Biden economy. You know how I can support this? How can I support the fact that we're dealing with a Biden economy? Because we don't have a budget. You know how many people didn't understand the shutdown? To this day, I know 80 to 90% of Americans did not understand the shutdown. It was the longest shutdown in American history. The second longest shutdown was in Trump's first administration. It was 35 days. The shutdown was 43 days, the longest shutdown in American history. You know why the government was shut down? Because the House, the Democrats and Republicans in the House, who by the articles of the Constitution, it is their responsibility to create a budget in the form of an appropriations bill that gets signed into law. That was due October 1st, 2025. You know, when I had my debate, you know, somebody in the chat said something very intelligent about tariffs. So I want to say thank you. But when I had my debate about the shutdown, you know how many people did not know who is responsible for creating the budget? They didn't know about the articles of the Constitution. When I said articles, there were so many people dumbfounded. They didn't get civics in school. So when I say articles of the Constitution, and when I say whose responsibility is it to create the budget, 80% of Americans don't know. Maybe because they're fucking in Minnesota stealing fucking money, right? Maybe because half of them don't have fucking driver's licenses and citizenship, but they don't fucking know about the articles of Constitution, whose responsibility it is to create the budget. So October 1st, 2025, the Republicans and the Democrats let us both down because they did not come to an agreement and create a budget in the form of appropriation bill to send to the Senate that Trump could sign into law. To this day, right now, as we have this conversation, right now, this is why I blocked his ass, because I know a lot of they don't even know what they're supposed to be mad about. You'd rather be mad at Donald Trump. There's things we can agree on. Fuck Democrats, fuck Republicans. There's things we can agree on as American citizens. Fuck Democrats, fuck Republicans. They both owe us a budget. Fuck being black, fuck being white, fuck all the separation. Fuck gay, straight. They owe us all a budget. They got paid during the shutdown. They make good money. Nancy Pelosi worth $400 million. Ilhan Omar worth $30 million. You know what I'm saying? They owe the American people a budget. But instead, we want to get in partisan. We want to be partisan and say all this stupid shit and don't know anything about the actual issue. The Democrats today are so intellectually lazy, it's enough to hate Trump and not know shit about what's going on. And that I know that's true because none of them know the things I've just shared with you. Everybody today will go away with this information. They will go away whether they like me or not and say, well, good googly moogly, that black big nose motherfucker was right. Hey, they owe us all a budget. The budget was due October 1st. The continuing resolution expires when? Does anybody in the chat hate me? Baby, clean my AR. Thank you so much. Does anybody in the chat hate me? Because I want to ask them a question. When does the clean CR expire? And anybody who's first here who's been saying, man, this is a great show, dude, know what he's talking about, I'm going to give you more reason to like, share, and subscribe and join my channel right now because I'm giving you more information that you thought you were the only one who knew. You thought you were the only one who knew this shit. You thought every Democrat is a fucking idiot. They are, but you're not the only one who knows this shit. When does the continuing resolution expire? See, people come here and that's why they subscribe. They hear shit that they thought they were the only one that knew. So they like, man, I'm watching this, brother. I'm subscribing to this channel because everyone is a fucking idiot on this issue. And this is the only person I've seen who can speak to this shit intelligently. When does the continuing resolution expire? Still don't have it in the chat. That's why you're watching me. If anybody's wondering why I'm popular, why you watch me, when does the continuing resolution, the stopgap bill expire? And when will we maybe have another shutdown and deal with that same bullshit all over again? It expires very soon, January 31st. No one gave me the answer, so I'm going to tell you. January 31st. January 31st, the continuing resolution expires. Isn't it funny no one knew that answer? Isn't it funny no one knew that answer? The 31st, the continuing resolution expires. And then we have to deal with domestic issues, not Israel, not Ukraine. Thank you, Tammy. January 31st, the continuing resolution expires. How many people think we get a budget? Shout out to you, A New. It was the end of the month. And I saw you, All Truth is Within. How many people think we get a budget? They're not even talking about it now. The Democrats are positioning themselves for another shutdown over what? Let me do a drum roll. The Democrats are positioning themselves for another shutdown over what? Because Mike Johnson stalled the vote. The ACA expired December 31st. The Democrats are positioning themselves for another fight over the Affordable Care Act subsidies. I think we have a high potential. And it's so funny when people in here talking about propaganda and all this shit. Why don't the Democratic media who you watch actually help you? I told people about the 18 states. I told people about the soda ban. Now, why isn't the Democratic liberal media really talking to you about the fact that there's a high potential that we may get another fucking shutdown? And if we weren't, they would be having a budget talk right now. They're not in committee about the budget. They stalled over the ACA. So on the 31st, Hakeem Jeffries is going to, and you know what else about the shutdown pissed me off? About the dummies in the shutdown that pissed me off is that I kept saying this is a Democratic shutdown. And the reason I knew it because I knew what was happening. I know the proper process. I knew Chuck Schumer was trying to make changes to the big, beautiful bill. That's a law being a continuing resolution, which is you can't do. That's procedural misconduct. You can't change a law via a fucking clean CR. What the fuck, Chuck Schumer? And that pissed me off that the American people didn't know that. That pissed me off that the American people didn't know that the Democrats already lost this fight in July when Donald Trump signed the big, beautiful bill into law. And they're trying to lie to you and say that they even have a viable chance. It wasn't even viable. There was no legal pathway for Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats to change the big, beautiful bill. It was already fucking law. They were lying to you the whole time. It was a Democratic shutdown. So what pisses me off about the shutdown and why I know it's going to be fucked up again is because after Chuck Schumer finally signed the same CR that he could have signed on October 15th, he said no 14 times. He finally signed it after the November 4th special election and Zohrani the Morani Mordani won. He signs the CR and AOC says, I'm going to primary you. And Chuck Schumer, then we learn Chuck Schumer held up the government because he was scared to lose his job. Jasmine Crockett was scared to lose her seat. Chuck Schumer was afraid of AOC and Hakeem Jeffries primarying his Senate seat. And what happened when Chuck Schumer signed the CR? Does anybody recall what happened? Because it matters in about 2 weeks in January 31st. All of this shit I'm saying to you, we're going to talk about again at the end of the month when they try to do this tactic I'm about to go into. What happened when Chuck Schumer finally signed the clean CR that he could have signed in October? You guys didn't get your food stamps for no reason. Do you know they kept your food stamps and then the Democrats basically did what they could have did October 14th and no one ever asked them, well, Chuck Schumer, what the fuck did you hold out for? Why didn't you just sign it in October? Why did you wait till late November? Why did you scare the American people? Because AOC was going to primary him. So after Chuck Schumer signed the clean CR, AOC had a speech on the House floor. Hakeem Jeffries had a speech on the House floor. You know, the trolls don't even know these people's names. The trolls don't. The trolls just come in here, they say shit. Right now, some of the trolls who love Democrats don't even know who the fuck I'm talking about. AOC has a speech on the House floor and eviscerates Chuck Schumer, calls him weak, calls him feckless, says Chuck Schumer is weak, and he could not do what? Anybody know what he said? She said Chuck Schumer was weak and could not hold the party line. Democrats in the House eviscerated Senate Democrats and said Senate Democrats are weak and couldn't hold the party line. Well, to anybody intelligent, what was the party line? Does anybody know what was the party line? The party line was keep the government shut down. AOC was pissed at Chuck Schumer because he couldn't convince Senate Democrats to keep the government shut down. And then a week later, the Democrats came out and admitted the shutdown was a Democratic tactic. And we see it as a viable tool going forward. Does anybody? It was in the Wall Street Journal. Hakeem Jeffrey said the shutdown was a Democratic strategy and tactic that we see as a viable means going forward, meaning they will use shutdowns as politics. Democrats will use shutdown as a weapon because they believe they won with the 43 days. They didn't give a fuck how hungry you were. They didn't give a fuck that TSA agents didn't get paid. They didn't give a fuck about those planes that crashed, how unsafe the airports and the skies were. They believe they were successful and they're going to do it again. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? They admitted that it was their shutdown, and they admitted that they will use shutdowns again going forward. Now, when you see these protests, let's look at, do I got anything about the protests in Minnesota? You know what I had? I had a bunch of stuff from Donald Trump, Truth Social. Donald Trump said some good stuff. So I played to you the trade numbers, and then I said to you about BlackRock and those people not being able to oh, y'all, let's go to Greenland. Let's go to Greenland. Tammy, I seen Tammy. Tammy, I got an update on Greenland. Let's go to Greenland for my sister Tammy. I got an update, and this shit is surprising. Now think about my perspective on Greenland and Ukraine and everything we talked about yesterday and how intelligent Tammy. Put a W in the chat, W chat right now. So we talking about Venezuela. We're talking about Biden being feckless, and we're talking about the bases and Ukraine. And I said Venezuela is our Ukraine, right? No one can ever have authority in Venezuela because of the proximity to power, location, how close it is to America. Ballistic missiles could be here and happen. All of that shit, besides the gold, besides the diamond, besides the oil, right? It's the strategic aspect of Venezuela. And Tammy says that's why we need Greenland, right? And so today I'm doing research for my show. And so we talked yesterday about fuck NATO, right? We were saying how, NATO doesn't appreciate what America has done as far as protecting the globe, as far as trade. Why didn't NATO or Denmark or France go after that tanker when the Somalian pirates were doing, the Somalian pirates? And that was wasn't that the first Trump administration? And everybody was mad at, I don't recall, but I do recall Trump going after Somalian pirates, even before this Minnesota shit. Now, why didn't Denmark and France and Macron and, Brexit, and why did they go after the Somalian pirates? Why didn't they protect the shipping, right? So we talked about NATO, and we talked about NATO don't really seem like allies. We talked about Macron blocking the peace process in the Ukraine, being pissed that France won't benefit. And then we come to find out about Denmark. So I read something about Denmark, and then tell me, you know what I said? I said, is Denmark in NATO? And you know what the AI told me? AI told me that Denmark is a founding member of NATO. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Denmark is a founding member of NATO, and the news I'm about to read to you right now, I don't understand. How is Denmark a founding member of NATO, and knowing everything that we're dealing with NATO, and then they say what they're going to say, what we're going to read right now. So shout out to Tammy in my chat. Denmark warns troops will fire on U.S. invasion of Greenland. Did y'all hear that? Let me read that again. So yesterday we were talking about Greenland. We were talking about Greenland, 50,000 people, and America wants to purchase Greenland, make those 50,000 people millionaires, give them better protection, give them better opportunities to grow their country. But now today, and Tammy was very intelligent. She gave us some great information about Greenland. And Tammy, guess what today? We hear from, because Tammy, I didn't even know. I said, why is Denmark pissed off about Greenland? And everybody in my chat, that's why I said W chat. I said, I would love it if we left NATO. And I love that Trump told NATO, kiss my ass, and we not going to be in NATO if you don't pay more money. I love that the peace deal in the Ukraine is going to benefit America and it's going to say fuck you to France. I love it that the peace deal in Israel is going to benefit America. It's going to say fuck you to the EU. Yeah, I love that American companies are going to make a lot of money with Russia, like the oil, and I love that American companies are going to make a lot of money in the Ukraine. I fucking love it that American companies are going to make a lot of money in Gaza. I fucking love it. I don't care. I love my country, right? I love my country. Yeah, Denmark owns Greenland, and everybody educated me on that yesterday, right? That Greenland is a sovereign country and under Denmark, right? So that's what I found out yesterday. But also what we learned yesterday is Trump isn't like trying to, this came up and it went away, and now we're talking about a purchase. Didn't we purchase Alaska? Like, who owned Alaska? Who did we purchase Alaska? Let me look it up. That's a great question, right? Didn't we purchase Alaska? And who did we purchase Alaska from, right? Because I don't understand why Denmark would make these threats, and especially if we're NATO and there's NATO tensions when it comes to the Israel peace process and the Ukraine peace process, and Trump has already removed himself from the Paris Climate Accords, and he's already given NATO an ultimatum and made them pay more. Why would Denmark even float this, right? So who did we buy Alaska from? Who did we buy Alaska from? Am I recalling that correctly? This would be a good time for you guys to roast me in the chat. The United States bought Alaska from Russia. Now, ain't that about a bitch? Russia's supposed to be enemies. Russia's supposed not to be our friends, right? But we bought Alaska from, look at my chat, W chat, man. $50 an acre. Y'all smart. Now Putin wants Alaska back. Hey, I love Putin. Putin is like a baby Trump or big Trump. Putin don't be playing, but he probably need it because y'all don't understand the difference. I'm not going to say that, but there's demographic issues in China and Russia and why they want to go to war and fight. They don't have a choice as far as natural resources and stuff. Russia and China, there's this guy, I forget his name, that I watch. He was on Joe Rogan and he basically said that China and Russia are going to cease to exist in the next 10 years. And it has nothing to do with war. It has nothing to do with America. It has everything to do with demographics and politics and environment. This is what I talked to you about the other day. China and Russia don't have enough young 18-year-olds. That's number one. China and Russia, there was a one-child policy in China, and they have an older generation. There was a documentary talking about the fat emperor, that most of the Chinese population is above the age of 60 or below the age of 12. You guys heard that story? Most of the Chinese population is above the age of 60 or below the age of 12. They don't have young people to make new Chinese. So demographically, their country is going to see. This is a guy who was on Joe Rogan. This is not about racism. This is not about none of that. He works for the government. His like Peter Zahn. I think his name is Peter Zahn. Y'all look him up. Peter Zahn. He works for the government. He does demographics. I learned a lot from him. And basically he said that Russia and China are acting the way they're acting because they have a huge demographic problem. We actually have the same problem in America, but he said we could fix it. Our problem is the baby boomers just retired. The baby boomers are the largest generation that America will ever see, and it's a potential they could bankrupt the system. So when we talk about Somalian fraud, $9 billion, there's a lot of lack of intelligence on the left, right? Because they got us focused on the wrong shit, right? We should be really focusing on the budget. There's a reason we need to focus on the budget and focus on Doge. We have the largest generation retiring. They just turned 65. So they're going to soak up Social Security and all of these benefits, and we're not going to have it. And no one is talking about that. They want to say Trump is racist, and they don't understand when in a couple years, man, that $9 billion, that $100 billion them Somalis stole, America's going to want to fight. It's going to be funny too. America's going to want to fight in a couple years. And when it get real bad, because the baby boomers are going to eat up everything, y'all. Y'all don't understand. They just turned 65. They not going to work. So they're not paying in. This is why we have to shrink the entitlement pool. This is why you're going to feel more pain. There is no money to pay welfare, all this stuff. You can't pay it because the baby boomers retire. And this is the way it works. The amount of people working now are less. That's just the fact of the matter. So there's less taxes. There's less money to pay entitlements. The working class, the working pool has shrank because the baby boomers retire. And this is true globally. The difference in America is we do have 18-year-olds, right? But in Russia, they don't have 18-year-olds. And in China, they don't have 18-year-olds. They don't make enough oil and they don't make enough food. So Russia and China is facing some huge demographic shifts, and that will be the end of those regimes. Not America, not war. Baby boomers have all the money, and now they will retire and they won't work and they won't pay payroll taxes. When the baby boomers retire, and they just retired last year, I'm not being mean. I just want people to understand what I'm trying, because I didn't say that part. When the baby boomers retire, they don't work. So they're not paying into the system. So that's less money to give you in food stamps and welfare. But the Minnesota and Somalis just stole $9 billion. So today is funny. Today, purple hair protesters are saying, fuck ICE. I promise you they're going to sing another tune. I promise you they're going to sing another tune. They're going to be wanting help from the government, and there won't be no help. And they're going to say, but the Somalians got billions. Why can't you help me? And you know what MAGA gonna do? MAGA gonna sit back and laugh at your monkey ass. MAGA is gonna sit back and laugh at your monkey ass. Because while you were protesting for Somalians, while you were protesting for Eduardo, you should have been worried about your fucking kitchen table. You should have been worried about your fucking kitchen table. This woman was blocking federal agents. She's a mother. She should have been at work, you guys. She should have been with her son. She should have been doing something, making money, paying taxes, or watching her son. Instead, she's driving around, following ICE agents. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Where is this mentality coming from? What made her wake up in the morning as a white woman? Who is the most privileged individual in the globe? Who can go anywhere, say anything, get any job? We live in a liberal feminist globe. Me Too, Time's Up. Who is the most empowered in a white woman? A white woman. J.D. Vance talks about it. A lot of white men talk about it. The most empowered individuals are white women. Now, this white woman who could have done anything, you know how empowered she had to feel to say to herself, I'm going to drive around and harass federal agents, curse them out, and block them from doing their job. No Black American would ever contemplate not going to work and following an officer. No Black American. Do you know why we even have Black Lives Matter? We have Black Lives Matter because Black fathers have to do something called the talk with their sons. So we teach and train our sons how to act during a what, ladies and gentlemen? I said we teach and train our sons how to act during a what, ladies and gentlemen? During a traffic stop. And it's obvious to me, this white woman who lost her life didn't get to talk. She didn't get to talk. If she was dating a Black man and she had a Black father, she would have got to talk. If you ever get pulled over by a police officer, you do exactly what the fuck they say immediately. When you get to the precinct, you call me. Do not call me. Do not pick up your phone. Do not reach for your phone. The police officer doesn't know the phone is all Black, right? Baby girl, the phone is all Black, right? He won't know if it's a phone or a gun. Do not reach for your phone. Do not reach for anything. Keep your hands on the wheel and do exactly what the officer says. Once you are arrested and they give you a phone call, you call me, I will come pick you up and we will hire a lawyer. If they are wrong, then nothing will happen. If you committed a crime, I will support you and I will pay for your bail. If you committed a crime, I will support you, son. I will support you and I will pay for your bail. I will pay for a lawyer. But when you are pulled over by a police officer, whether you are right or wrong, you do exactly what he says. You do not call me then. You do not complain. You do not bitch. He is at work. You are not at work. You shut the fuck up. You do exactly what you are told. This is what black parents tell their children. This is what black parents tell their children. The lady who was shot yesterday, she didn't get to talk. I can't see a black person doing what she did. I can't see a black American following police officers, cutting them off in the street, cussing them out. I just can't see it. And I know you guys hate when I bring up race, but you can't leave that out. I know you guys hate when I bring up so Tammy, are you telling me the child doesn't have parents now? Tammy, are you telling me that the kid don't have any parents now? So you telling me a woman who had a child and she was the sole parent, she woke up yesterday and decided to go chase down federal officers, cuss them out, and block them from doing it. At the very least, what if she got arrested? I think she probably was dealing with some mental health, y'all. She probably was dealing with some mental health because at the very least, for what she was doing, she could have got arrested and prosecuted federally, and she wouldn't have been able to be there for her son. Let's say best scenario. Best scenario, she gets arrested. Best scenario, she gets arrested. The son is still alone. This is not a sane individual. I mean, from what she did, she wasn't sane. Some people could argue that she committed suicide. When we get these details, thank you, Tammy. When you get these details, then you got to ask yourself, was she trying to hurt herself? Was she depressed that her husband was gone? Was she overwhelmed with being a single mom? You know, it's a hell of a thing. My mother was a single mom, and she dealt with depression. I saw it. It affected me. This ain't no joke, you guys. I'm not mad at her. I'm not yelling at her. I said best scenario, she got arrested and prosecuted. She married a woman. Oh, that's a blessing. And then hopefully that woman is no, she married a woman. Hopefully that woman, after her husband died, she married a woman. She definitely was dealing with some mental health stuff there. Let's pray that woman is you know, in a position to take care of the son. Because mentally she got to be messed up right now. Because her wife just got murdered. Let's pray for that family. I know I don't think the shooting, I agree the shooting was justified. And in the same voice, I can say, let's pray for that family. Straight up. Straight up. Her mother is alive, so the kid could go to his grandma. It's still though, man, my mother and my father passed away in the pandemic. I just lost my mother and my father. So I could imagine. That's why I always say, y'all notice if y'all stay to the end, I always say, God bless Charlie Kirk. And I always say, God bless Charlie Kirk kids. Whenever I end the podcast, I say, God bless America, God bless Trump, God bless Charlie Kirk, and God bless his family. Because I just know what if I just like, as an old ass man, I'm hella missing my daddy. I miss my daddy, you know? So I could imagine those children, you know, and their father, you know, it's different when you lose somebody to a gunshot. It's one thing, you know, if your daddy dies of old age and you could say, I love you, daddy, I missed you. I wish you was here, but I missed you. It's another thing if your father is shot and killed in public. RFK talks about it, like the Kennedys, your uncle is shot and killed in public. How many Kennedys were shot and killed? Was Robert F. Kennedy's father shot and killed? Because it wasn't just JFK. How many? It was JFK, it was his son in the plane. How many people were killed? Yeah, it's different, bro. 3. It's different, bro. Imagine RFK. RFK talks about it a lot, how he remembers that moment. RFK talks about it a lot, how it affected the family. And he was a child. And people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And now they want to get upset about this shit. When I almost called her out her name, you guys, I almost called her a B word and she's not even here anymore. It must be time to end the podcast. I started talking about Charlie Kirk. I was about to go in. I was about John and Robert Kennedy. I got upset, y'all. I started talking about Charlie Kirk and I was about to get upset, y'all. Let me read this about Greenland. Tammy, you probably pissed. Let me read this about Greenland. Denmark warns troops will fire on U.S. invasion of Greenland. The Danish Defense Ministry confirmed a long-standing royal decree allowing soldiers to counter any armed incursion immediately without high orders. Similar to don't that sound like what we were doing in the water with the drug boats? Everybody beating up Trump about these drug boats and these oil tankers in Venezuela, but Denmark ain't declared war on us. It's funny how this shit worked in our advantage, you guys. It's funny how this shit work in our advantage. I'm just giving it out, man. This is some fire information. So they want to talk shit about Maduro and Venezuela and war and Congress and all this shit. Listen to this. Listen to this, how it really worked. Listen to how it really worked and what Pete Hegseth explained about standing orders. That's why I always start my debate with Venezuela. I always start the audience off with how many drug boats have we blown up? I always start with that. How many drug boats? And it's funny. It's only the few faithful who know 30 drug boats, 107 drug dealers blown out the water, 25 oil tankers seized. Well, how do we get the 30 drug boats? Because I only heard about the one drug boat on Rachel Maddow. There were standing orders from Pete Hegseth in the Department of War. Standing orders. Let me read it again, what Denmark said. Because we have the same shit. We're both westernized countries, capitalistic democracies. We have the same shit. This is a democracy, part of NATO. We have the same. They did not listen to none of this. Listen. Greenland Danish Defense Minister confirmed the counterpart to Pete Hegseth, a long-standing royal decree allowing soldiers to counter any armed incursion immediately without higher orders. Is that not what took place in the fucking Southcom region when it comes to Venezuela? Is that not what took place? And then Mark Kelly said, Dishes 6 want to say you don't have to follow illegal orders. They were standing orders. That's why you being demoted even though you retired. They were standing orders, just like Denmark. Let's read it again. Danish Defense Minister confirmed a long-standing royal decree allowing soldiers to counter any armed incursion immediately, like Navy SEAL Team 6 blowing up 30 fucking boats, speeding fast at night toward our country. Standing orders, baby. Immediately, without higher orders, even from NATO ally, the U.S. This is so illuminating, Tammy. Even from NATO ally the U.S., this comes as President Trump in his second term eyes Greenland for what that say? My screen is dirty. For Arctic position, rare earth minerals and strategic value against Russia and China. Discussing options from purchase to military action. European allies express alarm. U.S. Democrats cite legal barriers without Congress, and Greenlanded leaders stress self-determination with talks planned next week amid alliance strains. Did y'all hear that? That was so. I'm glad I read that. You know, we were coming to a close. I'm glad I read that because of how it affects when you talk about what happened in Venezuela, in the drug boats, in the oil tankers, and the standing orders without higher orders, which means they didn't need approval from Congress. They already had standing orders to act immediately. And that's what we want Navy SEALs to do. Do we not want Navy SEAls to blow up a fucking boat coming in the middle of the night toward the coast? Or do we want Navy SEAls to do like Rachel Maddow say and play fucking nice? And maybe we lose a Navy SEAL. Maybe we lose a boat because they turned out to be fucking Trinidad Agua gang members and they start shooting Uzis and they kill a Navy SEAL when the Navy SEAL wants to do like Rachel Maddow said and simply give them a ticket and send them home. Hey, Venezuelan buddies, habla español. Hey, you were driving fast to the American coast. I want to pull you over and give you a ticket and you can go back home with your cocaine. And then we lose a Navy SEAL, Rachel Maddow. Then we lose a Navy SEAL, Rachel Maddow. Then we lose a Navy SEAL, Rachel Maddow. But Denmark, the Danish military secretary, the counterpart to Pete Hegseth said, no, fuck that. Blow up anybody out the water. You have permission. You have standing orders. Blow anybody out the water, including the U.S. They said you can blow up anybody you want, including the U.S., including NATO allies. Then is NATO real? Before I get too excited, Tammy, can you tell me, is NATO real then? Why are we paying NATO? Why are we giving the Ukraine $300 billion? Why do we get? That's why I said in these peace agreements, America better come first. In these peace agreements, America better make money. I don't give a fuck if it's BlackRock, Chevron, BP, Valero. I don't care. America needs to make some motherfucking money and fuck Europe. Fuck Europe, fuck France, and fuck NATO. Is NATO a real thing? Let's read this again because he said it with some balls. Look, check this out. It says the Danish defense minister confirmed a longstanding royal decree allowing soldiers to counter any armed incursion immediately, without question, without higher orders, even from NATO ally the U.S., even from NATO ally the U.S., even from NATO ally the U.S. Do you guys hear this shit? This is what's going on in geopolitics while the libtards whine. Real shit. High seas. The other day, we just took 2 oil tankers. When I say high seas, I really mean high seas. I played the video of the helicopter. In the Atlantic, there was a Russian submarine. I played the video of the helicopter. When I say high seas, we talking real high seas. And we talking about the most trained, proficient armed services in the globe. That's what we talking about. Let me get to this right here. There's just more on Greenland and Denmark. This is the Democrat. Let's tee up this video. Finally, the United States is waking up. Representative Ted Lieu just drew a crystal clear red line, and it matters for more than most people seem to realize. If any military member from the generals on down participates in using force against Greenland without congressional authorization, they are following illegal orders. He gonna be the next one to get put in jail. Because I just read, isn't it funny how the Democrats just make up shit? And this is what that lady said earlier. If you hate the president more than you love your country, maybe it's not the president. I just read to you that the Denmark, it's like they want us to lose. It's like Democrats want us to lose because Denmark just said, we ready to fight and I'm going to punch you in your nose. And then the Democrats come out and say, as Americans, we should hide and we should let Denmark punch us and punk us. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, bro? It's just so embarrassing, bro. It's so embarrassing, bro. They said we got standing orders. We're gonna blow up the US, right?
I served an active.
They said they got standing orders and they're gonna blow up anybody immediately without approval, including the US. And I almost called them a bad name. Let's listen.
I served an active duty in the military for 4 years and then additional 21 years in the reserves. I was a JAG. There is absolutely no legal justification whatsoever to use military force against a NATO ally, against Greenland.
Wait a minute.
any
Wait a minute.
military member
Hold on, I gotta pause it. Wait a
including
minute. He
the
did
generals
not.
on
Hold on.
down,
No, he did not. No. Against an he wants us to be pussy. He wants us to be pussy. He wants us to be fucking pussy. What did Denmark just say? Let's read it. What did Denmark just say? He said you could blow up anybody, a standing decree. Soldiers can blow up anybody immediately without higher orders, even NATO allies, even NATO. God, you can't make this up. You can't. Did I just hear that? Did y'all just hear that? Did he just kick himself in the damn foot? Did you just hear that? I can't. Did he just play it again? Play it again. Play it again. And then they call us, you guys, they say we the ones. You guys, we the ones. They think we're crazy. You crazy if you like. We're the ones, you guys.
I served on active duty in the military for 4 years and then additional 21 years in the reserves. I was a JAG. There is absolutely no legal justification whatsoever to use military force against a NATO ally, against Greenland. And if any military member, including the generals on down to enlisted members, if any of them participate in the use of military force against Greenland without congressional authorization, they are following illegal orders. That's simply a fact.
Last one.
I served on active duty in the military for 4 years and then additional 21 years in the reserves. I was a JAG.
He's wrong. He's wrong and he's a coward. They act like they can't get unelected. He probably won't get reelected. You just sealed your fate. You're not getting reelected, homie. You're not getting reelected, homie. You're not getting reelected, homie. This is January 7th. A.B. Kolar, what's the difference between Greenland and Donald Trump? Greenland isn't for sale. She added, oh, these Democrats, man, get on my nerves.
And Donald Trump. Greenland is not for sale.
She thought that was funny. And it, oh, God.
Speaking of Greenland, there's a question for you that I want to pose. What is the difference between Greenland and Donald Trump? Greenland is not for sale. Okay, for any Republican Trump administration person out there that want to throw eggs at me as a result of that joke, you can't because they're too expensive. Speaking of Greenland, there's a question for you that I want to pose. What is the difference between Greenland and Donald Trump? Greenland is not for sale. Okay, for any Republican Trump administration person out there that want to throw eggs at me as a result of that joke, you can't because they're too expensive.
Remember the video? I already deleted the video. I will play it again, but I deleted it. She said, if they celebrate when something bad happens, that's sick. Here's an example of what that lady was saying earlier. She said, it's not Trump, it's something wrong with you. If you celebrate when there's bad news, that makes you un-American, unpatriotic. And she's lying. Eggs are cheaper. Gas is cheaper. How much you pay for gas right now? Put in the chat. How much did you pay for eggs right now? How much did you pay last year? Some people in my chat paid $1.95 for gas, and they were paying $4 last year. I just bought 5 dozen eggs. You know why I bought 5 dozen? I haven't bought the 5 dozen. I haven't bought the 5 dozen in 2 years. Since I haven't bought the 5 dozen the whole time Biden was president. You know why I bought the 5 dozen at Costco the other day? It was under $10. I couldn't believe it. I said, we're going to have eggs for breakfast, dinner, and lunch. The 24 pack was $1.99 at Costco. And I'm in California. If we talking about the Midwest, eggs is even cheaper. I'm in California. The 5 dozen pack at Costco was like $7. I should have took a fucking picture. I should have, because I haven't seen it in over 5 years. I haven't bought the 5 dozen. Everybody know what the 5 dozen look like. Everybody know what it looked like. I haven't bought the 5 dozen, but it was only $6. I had eggs for a month. What the fuck is she talking about, y'all? $1.89 a dozen. What is she talking about, y'all? What is she talking about, y'all? Huh? Gas is less than $3. $2.76. That's premium. Not the average is less than $3. The national average is less than $3. What is she talking about? Gas was $3.85 a year ago. Thank you. I don't. And why is that funny? Even if gas or eggs were expensive, why is it funny? If you are an American, remember the video we played earlier. Why would it be funny? Why would it be funny? If Greenland got rubies, we gonna get those too. We want the rubies too. Hey, Mike, what we say? We keeping the oil. Kroger card, $165. $165 for gas. That's like a rebate. Do you know that's like Trump putting money directly in your pocket? When the gas is below $2 a gallon, do you know, do I got to do it again, Mike? Do we got to talk about logistics again? Because this is why the eggs are cheap, Mike. She doesn't understand. She's a woman, right? She's a woman. She doesn't understand logistics. She doesn't understand that truck drivers are paying less for gas too. She doesn't understand how shit works. She's a fucking woman. She's up there giggling and laughing about people being in pain. That's how women are. They laugh at shit like that. She doesn't get when the gas is low, the goods are low, because the truck drivers got to pay less for gas. And when the gas goes up, our goods goes up because it costs more money to get the goods to you. That's generally how capitalism works, dum-dum. When the gas goes up, the cost of goods goes up because logistics say that truck driver has to pay now $5,000 to drive that load when it costed them $2,000. So how does the truck driver, and this is how they think tariffs work. Tariffs don't work like this. The truck driver got to pay more money for gas. That means he has to charge more to bring that load in. Not because he's being mean, because if he doesn't charge more to bring that load to Walmart, he won't be able to purchase the gas. If he doesn't charge more to bring that load to Walmart, he won't be able to purchase the gas. When gas goes down, then he can accept the load for a cheaper price. He can look on his manifest and say, oh, I can take that load. It's paying less, but I can take it because gas is half of what it was. That's how goods and services go down. That's Trump putting money directly in your pocket. That's Trump putting money directly in your pocket. If you understand logistics, if you understand the way that Walmart gets the fucking eggs, oh, I almost called her the B word. If you understand how Walmart gets the fucking eggs, is via a semi truck who has to pay for gas, then you know why the eggs were so expensive under Democrats. We keeping the oil, homie. When their community is scamming the U.S. taxpayer, then yes, Trump is right. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. I've been nice, but I ain't being nice no more. I've been nice, but I ain't being nice no more. We are invading Venezuela for the sake of national security based on the fact Russia and China have been in Venezuela. Not only that, but we went to get Maduro because Biden also, in January 2025, Biden said Maduro was a dictator. The Democrats put a $25 million bounty on Maduro. Trump in his first administration put $15 million bounty on Maduro. A lot of the trolls don't know these numbers. They don't know these facts. They just be talking shit. But Trump put a $15 million on Maduro's head, Biden upped it. Biden agreed with Trump. Biden upped it to 25 million. Biden said he was not legitimate. He was a dictator. And Biden even had a phone call with the duly elected president. I played the video here. Biden had a phone call. This was in January of 2025, days before Trump took office. This wasn't in 2023. This wasn't in 1998. This was days before Trump took office. One of the last things the Biden administration did was double down on the fact that Maduro was a dictator. The newly elected president should be in power, and Biden upped the bounty to 25 million. That's just a fact. So when you say oil, that's just like a dummy coming in here saying tariffs are attacks. It's just a way to attack the channel. That's all you're doing. You're trying to attack the channel and disrupt the content. What about the oil? What about the oil? It's the same thing when people were saying 3 months ago, what about the Epstein files? They don't do it anymore. What the Democrats should be pissed off about, if you were a Democrat and you are realizing that the Epstein files didn't work, the oil thing don't work, you should finally be like, okay, I need some fucking policy because these things are not working. You keep telling me to attack Republicans based on hate and fear, but I would rather vote for you because of what you've done for me. I would rather not vote against the Republicans. I'd rather vote for you as a Democrat. But I can't vote for you unless you create a policy that I'm voting for. So as a Democrat, when are you going to wake up? Right now, you're not actually voting for the Democrats. You're voting against Republicans because you don't have anything to vote for. Doesn't that hurt your feelings when I say logical shit like that? I know it does. Right now, you're voting against the Republicans. You're not voting for Democrats because Democrats hasn't done anything for you. The Affordable Care Act expired. Obamacare was created in 2008 and never got done, even all the way to fucking 2026. How many years is that, y'all? 2008 to 2026, they still couldn't fix Obamacare. He promised you free health care, and he came back and said, I'm sorry, you can't have free health care. He promised you single payer health care. Then he came back and said, I'm sorry, I can't give you single payer. Then he gave you what? A mandate. He said he made it a law. So you couldn't get free health care. You couldn't get single payer. Instead, they flim-flammed you. You voted him in. You didn't get free health care. You didn't get single payer. Instead, you got a brand new fucking law. You got a law mandating you to get health care. That ain't what the fuck you ran on Obama. That ain't what the fuck you promised. You promised us free health care. Instead, you give me a fucking law. And the shit never worked. 2026, Obamacare still unsolvent, can't pay for itself. And Biden made the subsidies temporary. Why didn't Biden make the subsidies permanent? Why didn't the Biden Democrat caucus fix Obamacare once and for all? So it goes down in history as a victory for the Democrats. So Obamacare goes down as a win. I think Biden did not like Kamala or Obama because when Biden called Kamala the border czar, he made sure she would never be president. And when Biden made the subsidies temporary, he made sure that Barack Obama's legacy would go down in flames. No one is saying this, all truth is within. I said Biden did not like Kamala. That was obvious in the book 107 Days. He never supported Kamala's run for president. Biden did not like Kamala when he made her the border czar when he was the president. That was fucked up. He opened the border. He knew the border was out of control. He knew he couldn't control the border. He threw Kamala under the bus when he named her the border czar after it was out of control. She looked at hurt. When he did not fix, in those 4 years, when he did not fix the Affordable Care Act, he made sure that the Obama legacy would go down in flames. I agree, Tammy. I agree, Tammy. Obama killed more people than any. Obama did more drone strikes. When people talk about Venezuela, Tammy, since you brought that up, I'm sure, Tammy, you know about Obama and how many drone strikes he did. Obama was murdering motherfuckers left and right. Obama deported more motherfuckers than anybody. Obama was deporting people left and right, and Obama was blowing up motherfuckers with them drones left and right. It never gets talked about on how many kills Obama had and how many deportations Obama did. It wasn't broadcasted. All right, you guys. I love y'all, man. I love you guys, man. Great day. 26,000 bombs dropped. Tammy, do you have a channel? Do you have a channel? Because don't start one. You're gonna be too much competition. You know? Too much motherfucking competition. Now, Tammy, please stay here. Tammy, stay here and stay my friend. You the type of person that you want to have a friend. You don't want this motherfucker to be your enemy. This motherfucker too fucking smart. This motherfucker is too smart. You do not want this motherfucker to be your enemy. I love you, Tammy. You want this motherfucker to be your friend. I love you too, Tammy. Buddy, old pal. You know, my mama raised me. I raised single mother, and she always told me that intelligent people, she would say that about me. She would be like, D, y'all know I wear the D. Y'all can't really see the D, but y'all know I wear the D. She would be like, D, you the type of person that people would want to be your friend. And I remember when she first said it, I didn't get it until I got older and I learned the type of person I am. I'm a real asshole and a real dickhead, and I'm real intelligent. And yeah. So she knew that as a child. She said, D, she said, Dennis, you the type of person that if I knew you, I would want to be your friend. So that's why I said that about Tammy. Tammy, you the type of person. You know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, it's better off. And I think Trump is one of those people. And I think that's what makes the Democrats so much retarded, because Trump is definitely one of those people. He is very intelligent, savvy, and he don't have no fear. I don't see you winning against a guy like that. And that's not even talking about the billions of dollars. It's just the way he carries himself, the way he moves. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much, man. I miss my mama. She passed away. My father passed away. So when we talk about these issues hit home for me, man. I tell people, I used to say about my politics, I say, why do you think I'm a Republican? My grandmother, like Barack Obama's not a Republican. I promise you, his white grandmother that he talks about who ran that bank, she was not a Democrat. Barack Obama's not a Democrat. My grandmother was a Southern Baptist and a business owner and a nurse. But people never ask you that. They just say, hey, he's black. He's black, so he should be Democrat. They don't never say, did you go to church? A lot of people in my neighborhood who were black went to Catholic school, Republican. I grew up Southern Baptist. My grandmother would never vote for Tim Walz. My grandmother would never agree with anything that the Democrats try to put forth now. She voted for Bush. She said Bush is a strong president and he's going to protect our country. My grandmother was a Republican, but she wasn't a Republican because it was fashionable. It jived with her values as a Christian conservative, as a business owner, as a nurse, as a caregiver. She was a mother in the church. If someone had passed out in the church, because she was a nurse, she could administer health care to them, because people, get passed out in the black churches or get hot in the summertime. I was Christian conservative, went to Sunday school, went to church. Her son, my uncle, was a Jehovah's Witness. They went to church 3 days a week. My uncle didn't let my cousins, my best friends in life, weren't allowed to watch television. He would record cartoons. He didn't want them to see commercials. They weren't allowed to touch the TV. This is not in the 60s. This is the 80s and the 90s. My Jehovah Witness cousins, African American, FBA, Negro, ADOS, were not allowed to touch the television. They were strict Jehovah Witness. They would witness on Tuesdays and Thursdays and go to church. They went to church 3 days a week. Conservative. My politics are dictated by my family, my upbringing, my religion, my socio-economic status and background. I'm not up here saying Trump and MAGA and Republican for views. I'm not doing this for popularity. How many people have penny loafers? I miss my grandmother. She bought me penny loafers. She put $1 in my penny loafers. I never had a penny in my penny loafers. She bought me Kotler suits out the Spiegel's catalog. I did the speech on Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday is coming up. I might preach a sermon. I would do a speech on Christmas. I played the 3 wise men. I remember it like it was yesterday, being behind the sheet and my mama getting me ready last minute. And I was frankincense and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh. Anybody went to Sunday school? Anybody did the 3 wise men play? Anybody had to do a speech in church on Martin Luther King Day? Is coming up on the 19th. My big brother Ski, he got to do the MLK speech. I wanted to do the MLK speech. Ski was older than me. Ski got to do the MLK speech. All the girls in church thought Ski was the coolest guy. He looked so good in his suit. He was at the podium. He looked like Martin Luther King. All the girls in the church, he knew I was jealous too. All the girls in the church was like, oh, you did such a good job with your speech. Oh man, I wanted to do the MLK speech, but I love my brother Ski. I love my big brother Ski, so I was happy for him. That was my upbringing. We did speeches in church on MLK Day. We did plays in church on Easter Sunday. We did plays on church on Christmas. We had Christian conservative values. I say God and country. We had Christian conservative values. Tampon Tim. Tampons in the boys' bathroom. My grandmother would have a fit. Imagine me voting for a Tim Walz. No offense. No offense. I just want to share that because I know it's just family here right now. Imagine me voting for a Tim Walz. My grandmother would have a fit. You think they would put tampons in the boys' bathroom in New Strangers Home Baptist Church? Yeah, foundational lineage for sure. Do you think they would put tampons in the bathroom of New Strangers Home Baptist Church? Mississippi pastor? So for me, it's the thing that's crazy to me, you guys, it's not confusing. My politics are not. What's confusing to me is the other people I know that were raised in the same America I was, and now you believe in this bullshit. You were raised in the same America I was. When did you start believing this shit? And there's nothing to back it up. Now we got children coming out saying, we got children who are detransitioners. Because the liberals and the single parent moms, now we have kids who are detransitioning, those who can. Those who can. Some of them went too far and they are depressed. Detransitioning. This is the crazy shit. Not me voting like my grandmother raised me to vote. The crazy shit is that the shit went so far left that we got kids now detransitioning. That's what we did. That's what we did with the shit got so crazy. And these are children. We hurt children with these liberal socialist ideologies. And now kids are forced to detransition. I just want to say, I love you. I don't care who you are, what side of the aisle. Republicans do not hate. That's another reason why I'm Republican, because I can't protest. I can't blow up a Tesla. I love my country too much. I don't want to burn up anything. I don't want to shoplift. I don't want to steal. I don't want to break a window. I know what it takes to make change is policy. I want to vote for the proper person who understands how to administer and get policy done. I don't want to break a window. I don't want to burn up a Tesla. I don't want to yell at anyone who doesn't agree with me. I just want to say I love you. Whether you Democrat, Republican, they owe us both a budget at January 31st, they owe us both a budget. So I could say I love everybody. Republicans, this is what I want the Democrats to do. I want the Democrats to say, I love you, you my brother, I disagree with you. But America is the greatest country in the world, and we can agree to disagree. We don't have to protest. We don't have to burn shit up. That's all. That's all. That's all. I love you guys. I see you tomorrow. It's been a great show. Pray for that family. I didn't know, Tammy, that young man now has lost his mother and his father. Let's pray for the family. Let's pray for the woman who lost her life. Let's pray for her family, her child. God rest her soul. Oh, man. Very sad, very sad. God bless Trump. God bless America. God rest Charlie Kirk's soul. God bless his family and his children. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock tomorrow. You have a great night, Tammy. I love you all. God bless you all. Democrats, Republicans, gay, straight, black, white, red, white, and blue. That's what's on my wall, red, white, and blue. It's the greatest country. You know why it's the greatest country? Because you can have the freedom to be gay, straight. Kamala Harris can even be black. Right? It's the greatest country. You can be whatever religion you want, or you don't have to be religious at all. And everybody gets the same protection. Everybody gets the same freedom. Everybody gets the same one vote. It's the greatest country, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. I love you guys. I love this country. We got a lot of work to do in 2026. It's an election year. I'm here for it. I know you guys are here for it, and we're going to get the job done because we don't have a choice but to do the work. As long as we're here, that's what our goal and our task is, to do the work. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Have a great night. No better country.